Koikimedia, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Koikimedia, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Koikimedia, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Àwa sálára àgbà yìí dá, àwa ló láṣà àti èdè. Gbígbédè lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o, àwa gangan ni bàbá.
Koikimedia, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
They never sabi wetin we carry for her.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
I said they never know wetin we carry for body.
But they move closer before they go sabi.
Ọ̀kín lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ, ìníhùn ló ló lajú.
Ẹyẹ tó lórí kodò bí àdán ọgbẹ́jẹ lẹ́nu.
Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa, ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè kó Odùduwà.
Odùduwà kò bá lè gbé wá.
Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣe gírí, ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀, ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí, ká wálé gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé, ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀, àwa ni mọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri.
Ọmọ Odùduwà ni wá.
Koikimedia, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wà máa ní.
Kásá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wà kájé bùgbà yín jẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wà máa ní.
À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wà máa ní.
News and sports ẹ máa rí gbọ́.
Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wà máa ní.
Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. Koikimedia ọ̀rọ̀ lágbájúmọ̀ mi o, máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ o. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. À ń gbádùn rẹ, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi, ṣẹ́yìn ló máa fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé, ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ o. Igbó máa wọ̀ kájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀, àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé ní ẹbọra. Ẹ̀yin lọ máa náwó kóyìnbó tó dé, ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà dẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o. Koikimedia ṣàwa ní bàbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdáńtọ́ àtúnpèrègèdè.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ, jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ o.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àtúnjàfẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa, fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Ọmọ Oòduà ni wá o, tọkàntọkàn.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì, àdìmú bàbá iyọ̀.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
We bring you work closer to your doorstep.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ o tó ń kan gígo lára ni.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àpèrègèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́, àwa ní bàbá o.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà yín wá o.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Odùduwà lágbédá ní, òtítọ́ lágbédá ní.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
A kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀, a kì í sóníkèéta.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
Àdúró tán, a tún pèrègèdè.
Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá.
we bring you work closer to your doorstep. Koikimedia is around.
To give us latest.
Is around.
To give us latest.
Ladies and gentlemen,
ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó pójú gbogbo.
ladies and gentlemen,
ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó pójú gbogbo.
Koikimedia is around.
To give us latest.
Gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ ọ̀dọ́ tá a jọ ń káàkiri ọ̀dọ́jọ́ ni wá. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí a fi àyè gba Fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn bàbá wa. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú ọba mọ́, ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú jòyè mọ́. Nígbà tá a la fẹ́ jà fún àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa, táwa ń kọ́kọ́ ń bú ọba, tá à ń bú jòyè. Èmi náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí, bọ́ mo pera mi padà. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú àgbààgbà kankan mọ́, ẹ má bolóṣèlú kankan. Àwọn ẹ̀rù kálukú ń bẹ̀rù wọn ò lè sọ̀rọ̀, ọba ò lè sọ, ìjòyè ò lè sọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú, ẹ má jẹ́ ká bá àwọn bàbá wa jà mọ́, ẹ má jẹ́ á bú wọn mọ́, ẹ má jẹ́ á ṣe wọ́n ra wọn ara pẹ̀lú wọn. Àwọn àgbà tó bá jó lóṣèlú, tá a bá fẹ́ kọ́ wọn rẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́, á gbé wọn mọ́ra, á gbé wọn mọ́ra ni, à ní bú wọn mọ́. Ẹ má jẹ́ á ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n, ẹ má jẹ́ á dàlúrú. A lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n, a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì yìnbọn, a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì dàlúrú. Gbogbo protest mo ṣe ní ìlú Nàìjíríà, mi ò rí ibi tí mo ti ẹnìkan lè sọ pé mo pààyàn tàbí mo jó nǹkan náà tàbí mo bà nǹkan jẹ́. Mo lọ písù torí pé olówó lèmi náà tí ò bá sólówó lára ń dì mọ́. Gbogbo nǹkan tọ́lọ́run fún yẹn lọ́lọ́run fún mi. Mi ṣe tálákà tó dé pé mo dìde fún jà Yorùbá. Big man ni mí, àwọn tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó súnmọ́ mi tó ní owó ní kí ni mo wá lọ bẹ̀. Pé sọ́wọ́ lè mò ń fẹ́ ni kí n sọ yìí tí mo fẹ́, mo ní ìsọ̀rọ̀ owó. Àní ọ̀rọ̀ ìran mi ni mò ń sọ. Kí n wọ gbowó, kí n gbéra, kí n pé mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ ọba àgbowó, mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ oníbodè òfin gbowó, kí n kójó wọlé kọ́kàn mi balẹ̀, kí n dá wa mọ́tò kí n mọ́ rìn bọ̀, kí Fúlàní mọ́ da mi dúró títì, kí n délé kí bàbá sọ pé kí n gbé tírélà sùn kí n mọ́ gbé lọ. Àwọn bàbá wo lè lóko mọ́, wọn ò lè lóńdò. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ká ti àwọn bàbá wa lẹ́yìn, ká dá security ti wá lẹ̀, ká sọ fún wọn kí wọ́n bá wa fọwọ́ tì í, ká lé wọn kó nu oko wa. Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́, Jésù Olúwa wa.
Mo máa tún kí gbogbo wa káàkiri ibi tí ẹ bá ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní àṣálẹ́ yìí. Mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà, mo kí wa pé ṣé dáadáa ni a tún láǹfààní àti ríra wa. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé a kú bí gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ òmìnira tí à ń fẹ́ fún ìran wa àti gbogbo wa lọ́tùn lósì. Ṣé ẹ ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa? Tí ẹ bá ń gbọ́ wa dáadáa, ẹ bá wa fi sínú comment section. Ẹ má bínú pé ohun tójọ́ mẹ́ta tí à ń láǹfààní àti jókòó dáadáa báyìí, àmọ́ a ṣì ń gbìyànjú pé tẹ bá ń tẹ̀lé wa lórí gbogbo ètò wa, ẹ máa rí i pé kò sígbà tí platform yìí tí kò kí ń mú àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìròyìn ayọ̀ wá fún wa. Ìdí ni pé torí iṣẹ́ tí ọmọ Yorùbá bẹ Koikimedia, òun náà la gbé dání, even though pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín support wa financially, and it's not a very good one torí pé kí ni media nídìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìrànlọ́wọ́. Tí mo bá ní iná nínú ilé yìí, kò sí bá ṣe fẹ́ ṣe program. Tí mo bá ní internet, tí mo bá sanwó internet mi, kò sí bá ṣe fẹ́ ṣe program. Kò wá ń ṣe yẹn nìkan. Èmi ò sọ pé kò sí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹni tó ń sọ̀rọ̀. I'm speaking on behalf of this platform, and this platform is a very very unique one. Gbogbo ẹni mo lè fi sọ, mo dáńtọ́ ni, kò ń ṣe pé anything n tí star mi sọ ni mò ń ṣe. Ní láti ṣe sọ yẹn fẹ́ mi. Olúkálùkù ló mọ tí ìràwọ̀ ẹ̀ ń sọ, sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ ní tèmi. Mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ pé ọba Elédùmarè ń fún wa sọ. Mo wá kí gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹgbẹ́ mi náà tí gbogbo wa jọ ń ṣe ìgbìyànjú lọ́tùn lósì. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ màá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìyàwó mi àti àwọn ọmọ àti àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ Koikimedia team. Torí pé without them, bí a bá tẹ̀ ń jáde ta wá ń sọ̀rọ̀, ní mọ Koiki náà lọ títí. So mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn. Màá wá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa Professor Adébánjí Akíntóyè. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Tinubu náà, torí pé orí ọ̀rọ̀ Tinubu náà la tún máa sọ lálẹ́ yìí. Bóyá òun ló máa jẹ́ the last president tó máa ṣe the needful, àbọ̀ òun ló máa jẹ́ the last president tí kò ní ṣe the needful. Mo kí wa pé ẹ káalẹ́. Each time tí bá wo program wa tá à ń ṣe lórí platform wa, mo máa ń wonder pé kí ló dé tí ẹ máa ń wo program yẹn but ẹ kì í support program yẹn dáadáa. Èyí tí mo ṣe ní ọ̀sán yìí 2.6k view ló ti wọ̀. It shows that àwọn èèyàn ń gbọ́n kan tá à ń sọ ní gbogbo àgbáyé, and that is just on my YouTube channel ẹyọkan. Mo ti sọ all other platforms. Nínú 2.6 yẹn, bí gbogbo yín bá fún wa ní 1,000 naira average, màá lè fi support àwọn ọmọ tó wà nílé láti fi máa encourage wọn láti lè ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ more other programs láti fi continue awareness campaign tí platform yìí dedicate fún. Èmi náà ṣe bọ́lẹ̀ tán mo ṣe wo BBC 10 o'clock news pẹ̀lú wife mi. Àwa náà à ń san TV license fún Mukiwadata olórí ẹbí wa. Mo ń bọ̀ wá kí bàbá Kítóyè àti bàbá wa olóyè Ìgbòho dáadáa. So mo máa ń wonder pé tó bá jẹ́ pé gbogbo èèyàn ló ń dip hands wọn nínú pocket tí ẹ̀ ń fún wa ní support yín, financial support, we can do so much. Bóyá látàrẹ̀ àwa náà lè wò pé òkè a lè support àwọn èèyàn méjì mẹ́ta. Ṣé àwọn pé platform yóò sí fún èèyàn sick àwọn wá sí bíbá ìka tọrọ owó? Tó bá jẹ́ pé a ní ni a máa ṣe, but à ń ṣe wọn bá tá lè ṣe tí a need láti gbé wá sórí screen fún wọn bá tí a lè ṣe. Lóòótọ́ a set up platform pé ẹ bá wa fowó sínú GoFundMe, kò tẹ̀ pé £1,000. I'm sure that people are listening to what I'm saying, but you are finding it difficult, especially ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ní tọ́lọ̀ fi owó yẹn fi jíǹkẹ́yìn. But tó bá yẹ pé a jáde nísìta ní èèyàn kan orí ẹ ti gbálẹ̀ níbẹ̀ yẹn, mọ́tò accident bla bla bla, ẹ tètè kówó jáde. But eléyìí tèmi ń sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, òun ló lè tètè suppress many of the problems tá à ń encounter ní Nàìjíríà, nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lénìí àti ní ọjọ́ iwájú. Mo kíyà mi dáadáa, Kọ́míṣọlá kò gbọdọ̀ kú, ìyá lálùbáríkà kọ́ba Elédùmarè kó bá ń dúró tì. So ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ mú kíkí wa lọ sọ́dọ̀ Professor Banji Akíntóyè. Àwọn lọ́jáde ló jẹ́ kó yé wa pé lóòótọ́ púpọ̀ nínú wa are supporting a particular political party, and I'm talking about from 2015. Though I campaign fáwọn kan, but we are not part of the party. We are not a member. Àwa kàn wò pé maybe there will be a change that can reflect a better life, and I'm going back now to 2014. Nígbà tí Tinubu lọ gbé ṣé bàbá wa, ó wá sí UK, wọ́n ṣe presentation, ó jẹ́ kó yé gbogbo àwa diaspora. Ẹ má bínú pé mo fẹ́ tètè start Twitter space, bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ èèyàn méjì mẹ́ta náà la bá rí níbẹ̀ kó lè darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Àmọ́ nígbà tí ṣé bàbá máa dé, ṣé bàbá àwa realize pé it did more damage than we expected. Ṣé rántí pé nígbà tí ṣé bàbá dé, It took him some time to appoint ministers. I think about 6 months, if somewhere around there. So from 2015 here, àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí criticize the government ìyẹn Buhari pé irú ìjọba wo lélẹ́yìí kẹ̀ àṣà àtẹ̀ tí mọ̀ pé mẹ́wàá ń bọ̀ àwa rò pé bóyá yẹ̀yẹ́ ni but Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Tinubu ló lọ gbé Buhari wá ó ní ṣèkíní ó lulẹ̀ ó ṣèkejì ó lulẹ̀ ó ṣèkẹta ó lulẹ̀ lòun wá pé bó ṣe ń ṣe kọ́ nìyẹn òmùgọ̀ nìyẹn àwa bá wa Yorùbá àwa expert àwa ti mọ̀ nípa politics a mọ̀ bí game yẹn ṣe máa play tá máa fi defeat PDP and true and false Ọlọ́run fún Tinubu ṣe orí Buhari gbé débẹ̀ ìgbà tí Buhari wá débẹ̀ Buhari wá di double agent ìgbà míì àrí Buhari tó máa dà báyìí ìgbà míì àtúrí another version Buhari tó tún máa dà báyìí ó wá di version oríṣiríṣi la máa ń rí àwa mọ èwo gangan ní original Buhari gan àwọn kan ló ti kú àwọn kan ní kò kú Nnamdi Kanu sọ pé ó ti kú pé èyí tó fi síbẹ̀ Jubril kan ni láti Sudan and that was going on nígbà tó yá Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ ó bínú sí Buhari pé ọ̀nà tí a jọ sọ ìkọ́ ló ń tọ̀ ó pull back nígbà tí ìjọba yẹn lọ ní the first time ni mo ń sọ yìí ó dà ń pa tún another one Buhari kan tó tún dà báyìí oríṣiríṣi Buhari la ṣáà ń rí nígbà yẹn Fẹ́mi Adésínà ìyẹn kàn create oríṣiríṣi version Buhari fún wa àṣà accept pé ó kú kò kú èèyàn kan ṣáà wà níbẹ̀ tó ń pè ní kódà Buhari lọ sí ó dà ń pé Ukraine kó tó di pé jà bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Ukraine ó lọ visit ní Ukraine ó ní even say I am dead but I am alive. Eventually Buhari left and kó tó di pé Buhari lọ nígbà tó di pé Buhari sense pé Tinubu ò ní support òun ní second term ó deceive Tinubu pé kó máa bọ̀ again pé kó má worry káwọn jọ parí ìjọba ẹ̀ gbogbo ala rántí mo kàn take wa back torí pé expectation a lot of Nigerians ni pé Tinubu ló lọ gbé Buhari wá òun ló dá problem sí wa lọ́rùn ṣé òun ló máa wá yanjú problem yẹn Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ gan sọ pé Nàìjíríà ló jọ òun lójú àfi bá ló ṣe sọ níbí báyìí ó ní ìṣọ̀kan Nàìjíríà lòun wá ìṣọ̀kan Nàìjíríà lòun wá ọ̀nà tó máa gbà rí yẹn láì tí mọ̀ but lóòótọ́ ó gbìyànjú òun náà dùn sọ́tún ó dùn sósì ó dífá ó lọ sọ́dọ̀ Jésù ó lọ sọ́dọ̀ talisman ó ṣà lọ sí gbogbo ibi tó ti lè fún lágbára pé òun máa di president Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ fún ṣe. The question náà ní sí ni pé táwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wá ń béèrè ní sí pé ǹjẹ́ Tinubu fúnra rẹ̀ báyìí mo fi line ẹ̀ dáadáa ni o ìṣọ̀kan Nàìjíríà jẹ mí lógún. Eventually ìgbà tí Tinubu sense pé Buhari play game pẹ̀lú òun ó pull back Buhari ṣe second term láàrin pé Buhari ṣe second term àti first term according to statistics 28,000 ọmọ Yorùbá ló kú 28,000 nígbà tí àwọn IRA tó ń bá British fa wàhálà for 30 years èèyàn 28,000 ló kù mo fẹ́ kẹ́ máa mú bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kẹ́ máa mú lò that means pé for the period of time tí Buhari fi wà lórí oyè ẹ̀mí ọmọ Yorùbá tó sọnù ó lọ sí 28,000 lẹ́mìí tó sọnù and that is a huge number but mo ṣe ń kí lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ mo kí ẹ̀yin ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n torí pé mo mọ̀ pé orí ètò ti bíbà ẹ máa ń fẹ́ jókòó pé kí ni mo fẹ́ sọ mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ pé èmi náà ná àwọn team mọ̀mísí mi wà lára àwọn team mi àkọ́ fi wọ́n sínú gúrùpù ni torí pé there are some things I say online tí mọ̀mísí mi máa ń sọ pé no platform ẹ ti kọjá platform tó kàn máa sọ̀rọ̀ anyhow so she's one of the board of directors àwọn ìyàwó mi náà the same thing kódà àwọn ọmọ mi náà the same thing but mo dúpẹ́ fún bàbá Akíntóyè kọ́lọ́run ọba Elédùmarè kó jẹ́ kí bàbá yẹn kí a rí bàbá yẹn pẹ́ dáadáa bàbá yẹn ó ti wá wo gbogbo future Nàìjíríà pé eré táwọn sá nígbà táwọn wà lọ́dọ̀ bíi tiwa àwọn fọ́ propel Nàìjíríà pé kó lọ sí direction tó máa jẹ́ the most powerful black nation in the world eré yẹn làwọn bàbá yẹn sá nígbà táwọn náà ń ṣe bí ọ̀dọ́ bíi tiwa because tá a bá wo age bàbá Akíntóyè is about 49 almost 40 years plus older than me now ìwọ tí o wà ní age bracket èmi ò sọ àwọn tó wà ní 50 plus àwọn tó wà ní 50 plus ti gbìyànjú but àwọn náà rí i pé ó ti fail but àwa tá wà between 45 wá sísàlẹ̀ àwa náà wá ń propel pé a fẹ́ fix Nàìjíríà the same thing tí bàbá Akíntóyè ṣe tí wọ́n rí ṣe délẹ̀ kò ń ṣe fault wọn in tí àwọn òyìnbó mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ dá sílẹ̀ òun ni kò jẹ́ kí àwọn bàbá Akíntóyè rí ṣe níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn pẹ̀lú àwọn tó pọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò ń ṣàwọn nìkan there are a lot of different Yorùbá people àwọn tó ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ kódà àwọn tó ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú Akíntọ́lá bá ṣe gbọ́ ìtàn we were told that they were brilliant powerful some of them we all know their names àtọbìnrin àtọkùnrin tó ṣiṣẹ́ ní during the Western region those were the individuals torí vision ìran Yorùbá torí pé vision yẹn ó wá ń sáré ju bó ṣe yẹ lọ but àwọn òyìnbó aláwọ̀ funfun àwọn wá ń wo vision yẹn pé báwọn people bó ṣe ń sáré yìí tá a bá slow wọn down it will become a disaster. Eventually they became crafty. Wọ́n gbé àwọn kí ló ṣe fóònù ilé tó kú kẹ yóò ti sọ fún mi pé wọ́n fẹ́ kú tí mo tètè rẹ̀ àbí mo jáde ẹ̀ nìkẹ́ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ kẹ́ wow that's strange ló máa kú fún rẹ̀ ni ẹ má bínú. Mo kàn mú wa lọ sí some kind of background torí pé now there is a big task tó wà fún Tinubu nísìnyí. The task is he going the direction of mo ń bá wa kẹ́yìn media kájọ wà nílé máa kí dáadáa. Is Tinubu going to listen sí bàbá Akíntóyè directly or indirectly or aṣorí kunkun á decide pé tó bá wọn lòun máa ṣe I'll come to that in a minute so mo kí bàbá Akíntóyè dáadáa kọlọ̀njà rẹ̀ yín pẹ́ mo wá kí gbogbo àwọn bàbá tí ó wà lábẹ́ wọn mo wà lórí fídíò kan pẹ̀lú dáàdì wa kan náà in their 80s lamẹ́ríkà lánàá lórí fídíò kan wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ so kò ń ṣe bàbá Akíntóyè àwọn náà anáwọn tó yẹ pé wọ́n wà within that 80 years old tó yẹ pé expectation tiwọn náà ni pé Nàìjíríà will be a very powerful place mo ń sọ fún wife mi nígbà tá a jọ jókòó ẹ mọ̀ ọkọ àti ìyàwó aṣáà ń sọ̀rọ̀ okay à ń wo Dragon Den and I love Dragon Den àwọn tó bá wà ní UK ló máa mọ Dragon Den tó o bá mọ̀ wọ́n ti gbé ọmọ MKO Abiola kan wá síbẹ̀ rẹ̀ tó wá sọ̀rọ̀ ní ìyàwó mi tẹ̀ ń béèrè pé owó gbogbo àwọn MKO Abiola bó ló wà because ntọ́mọ yẹn wá béèrè fún níjọ́ náà lọ́n bí a fi £50,000 kọ́lọ̀ fọ́ọ̀nù kẹ́ the late MKO Abiola irú àwọn owó bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kò tẹ̀ nímọ̀ pé òun fún yàn lówó èmi wọ́n sọ fún ìyàwó mi pé ó possible pé gbogbo owó MKO Abiola wọ́n ò bá ṣí dáadáa owó yẹn kọ́ ó ti lọ sí gòbè. Kí ni mo fẹ́ fààyọ ni pé our future is now at link. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ link ẹ̀ mọ́ kankan but mo sì fẹ́ kí àwọn tó di YSDM mú látara bàbá Akíntóyè náà ni. Mo bẹ̀ wá, mo rọ̀ wá, gbogbo ẹni tí kò báyìí tí dáwó sínú YSDM bóyá fún ìdí kan àbí ìdí kejì, bóyá fún pé mọ tán pè ní YSDM, yàtọ̀ sí pé à ń tọrọ pé kẹ fáwa náà, mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Easy, mo rọ̀ wá pé ṣé àwọn pé bí ṣe advice wa pé ká ṣe donation sáwọn platform kan tẹ́lẹ̀, but this particular one was set up in 2021. Only about 100 and or thereabout different groups ló wà nínú YSDM. But with that money, we cannot run the show. We need money in the YSDM, and I expect every Yoruba sons and daughters to at least, support the YSDM in terms of financial assistance. Kò wá séye tó kéré, kò séye tó pọ̀, but tí gbogbo wa bá fi ọkàn sí pé $1 mi, €1 mi, 1,000 naira mi, àti owó òlù tó bá jẹ́ tó fẹ́ lò, tá bá ń fi sínú ẹ̀, á grow, á develop. So mo kí gbogbo àwọn YSDM látòrí àwọn executive wọn. Mo wá sísàlẹ̀, mo kí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà tí a wà lábẹ́ bàbá wa Professor Adébánjí Akíntóyè lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Kò wá sí bá ṣe fẹ́ máa sọ pé à ń kí àwọn èèyàn, à sì máa kí àwọn jàǹkànjàǹkàn. Mo kí Chief Imam ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, mo kí Yonkan, mo kí ti Muslim Association, mo dẹ̀ kí táwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe. Mo máa ń gbàgbé láti kí bàbá mi ọba Ògbóni ní gbogbo ìgbà, bàbá dáadáa tó dúró. So tó bá mọ YSDM, link wọn ló wà ní background yẹn tẹ́ ń rí yẹn. Tẹ́ bá lọ síbẹ̀, níbi tí kámẹ́rà mi wà lókè yẹn, ẹ rí donation portal níbẹ̀. So tí bá move kámẹ́rà mi wá sísàlẹ̀ díẹ̀, so ẹ rí pé ó ní donation portal. Tẹ́ bá gbọ́wọ́ lé, á easy fún yín. Ẹ jẹ́ ká remain focus for now. Ẹ mọ̀ pé platform tó wà very very sensitive, and I'm not gonna be distracted. Mo ti rí comment yín brother mi Ibiyemi, ẹ jẹ́ ká focus. Ibi tí gbogbo wa ń lọ, a máa débẹ̀ lágbára Elédùmarè. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó lè bà orúkọ bàbá wa Olóyè Ìgbòho jẹ́, mo sì máa kí wọn dáadáa. But mo kí bàbá wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ọba Ògbóni, mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé, àtẹni tó ń bẹ nílé, àtẹni tó ń bẹ ní ìrìn àjò títí dé different African countries. Mo kí ibẹ̀ ṣe ń wọlé, ẹ bá wa bọ̀wọ́ lù kẹtẹ̀ síwájú, kẹtúbọ̀ bá wa share, torí mo máa ń gbọ́ náà táwọn church náà bá ń ṣe program, wọ́n máa ní kọ́ share program yẹn. So kò sẹ́ni reason tí ẹ̀yin náà lè bá wa máa share èyí táwa náà gbé dání. Nígbà táwa ń kí àwọn èèyàn, a máa kí bàbá wa olólùfẹ́ wa, ẹni tí gbogbo ọmọ aráyé ń fẹ́, kọ́ba Elédùmarè kó bá wọnú ọlá ẹ̀, inú ọlá tí ó fún ẹ, ọlá tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó nílé ní, tí wọ́n tẹ̀ ronú sí pé ìran ọmọ Yorùbá wà nínú wàhálà. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá lè ní tí à ń fi ọlá tí bàbá wa Olóyè Ìgbòho tọrọ. Kọ́lọ́n wá wọlá ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń béèrè account number YSDM, ó easy tẹ́ bá lọ sórí website. Kò sí ẹni tó kí ń rajà lórí internet. Ẹ lọ sórí website wọn www.ysdm.org, kò ń ṣe .com.org. Tẹ́ bá ti gbọ́wọ́lé donate button yẹn, gbogbo internet níbẹ̀. Kódà ó tún ní àpẹẹrẹ oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà tẹ́ bá fẹ́ donate tó jẹ́ pé mò ń bọ̀ láti wá kí bàbá wa padà mo kọ̀ ríyàn kan tó ń béèrè account number tẹ́ bá lọ sórí donate section yẹn ẹ rí i pé a sọ pé currency wo lẹ fẹ́ lò ṣé náírà lẹ fẹ́ lò tẹ́ bá sọ pé náírà a sọ ṣé security lẹ fẹ́ dáwó yẹn fún ṣé welfare ṣé food bank àbí eléyìí tí wọ́n ní ká máa lọ dá ní monthly tó ń pè ní Ọ̀rànmíyàn 10 gbogbo wa ni ó kàn ó ṣe rí àti máa wo program nìkan kọ́ lọ́rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ mọ́ nísìn àti máa dáwó sínú ẹ̀ ó wà very very important so it's not about account number ọ̀lẹ́lẹ̀ website kò sẹ́ni tó kí n rajà kò sẹ́ni tó mọ bó ṣe ń ṣe so ẹ jẹ́ move bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ kúrò níbẹ̀ ó ń blọ́ọ̀kì view yẹn so it's a very easy one ẹ lọ sórí website kódà àwọn ìyá àgbàlagbà gan mọ bó ṣe ń rajà lórí internet tẹ́ bá wà mọ̀ ẹ bá ń pè àwọn ọmọ yín àwọn grandchildren yín pé ẹ fẹ́ sanwó ti yín ẹ jẹ́ ká fi ṣe bígbà tá à ń san owó fún ìran wa náà ni eléyìí kò ń ṣe pé mo fẹ́ gba commission lórí ẹ̀ èmi gan máa ṣèdá tèmi náà èmi náà ti dà but èmi náà máa dá tèmi èmi náà ní dájú £1 lọ torí £1 náà mo ní ká máa dá síbẹ̀ ká bá ní 1 million ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń dáwọ́ £1 síbẹ̀ mo fẹ́ yọ bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ yẹn kúrò so that ká lè rí screen yẹn dáadáa so tẹ́ bá lọ sórí ẹ̀ ẹ rí i pé ó wà straight forward a béèrè pé èló lẹ fi dá 1000 naira a béèrè donors name Ọláyọmí Kóìkì a dẹ̀ béèrè email address mi a béèrè card details mi mo fẹ́ máa show yẹn níbí bá wà á dẹ̀ debit owó yẹn látara káàdì yìí ó wà secured kò sí nǹkan kan tó ṣe ẹ má jẹ́ kíyàn kan fún ni pé tó bá lọ síbẹ̀ wọ́n máa hack account yín kò sí nǹkan kan tó jọ bẹ́ẹ̀ so ẹ lè dá fún reason tẹ́ ṣe fẹ́ dáwó yẹn fún ṣé fún security ni ṣé fún welfare ṣé fún food bank ṣé fún monthly Ọ̀rànmíyàn tí bàbá wa ṣe nìkan lọ máa ṣe ìyẹn bàbá wa Akíntóyè so mo bẹ̀ wá mo rọ̀ wá ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká make sure pé à ń ṣe contribution wa I mean £1 àtẹnumọ̀ padàwó yẹn síbẹ̀ tẹ́ bá tẹ̀ wá set it up as direct debit that £1 will just be coming up tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ wá níjọ́ £10 níjọ́ £5 ẹ fi síbẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan kan tá a fi ṣe without money we are not going anywhere we need a lot of money and àwọn tó máa fún wa lówó yẹn so bí yẹn ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn so lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ YSDF mo ṣì ń kí bàbá mi olóyè Ìgbòho Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣá kọba Elédùmarè kó bá mi wà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ kó bá ń dúró tiẹ̀ mo send audio kan sí bá mi màá jẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ audio yẹn that audio mo kàn fi jẹ́ kó yé wọn pé èmi ò mọ̀ tẹ́lòmíì o mo send audio yẹn ní 2 hours ago precisely ní 2100 hours which is about 9 PM lọ́dọ̀ tiwa ní bíbá ó ní kankan tí mo wò máa share fídíò yẹn pẹ̀lú yín mo ti share pẹ̀lú àwọn tíìmù wa nínú yàrá tó ń pè ní Koikimedia mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń jókòó tẹ́ fẹ́ gbọ́ ètò ta lẹ́yìn mo ní ká tètè bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà ni ìgbà tí mo sọ fún ìyá mi pé máa parí ní 12 ó yín mú sí mi ó ní ìwọ tó ní parí ní 12 òun mọ̀ pé ó máa ṣe títí di jábí 1 ni kọ́lọ́n kó túbọ̀ fún mi lálàáfíà ara mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa ẹ bá wa pé ètò yìí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń lé tẹ́ ní credit ẹ lè lọ gbọ́ lórí MixLR ìyẹn dàbí bíi audio version ó dẹ̀ ń jáde dáadáa ó dẹ̀ wà cheaper mo ti share link yẹn sí gbogbo tẹ́ bá ń follow mi back to back ó ti wà lórí gbogbo page wa mo wà lórí orí péjì àlùkà tá ń pè ní Yorùbá Ìṣọ̀kan mo dẹ̀ ń lo péjì brother mi náà Táíwò Thomas wọ́n fún mi ní access sí péjì wọn so mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí platform wọn náà pé ẹ kálẹ́ ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò audio tí mo fẹ́ play yìí tá a bá gbọ́ audio yẹn tán màá wá sọ fídíò tí mo fi send sólóyè tí mo wá fi audio yẹn tẹ̀lé lẹ́yìn ẹ gbọ́ audio tí mo send sí bàámi olóyè ní 9 o'clock. Bọ́ then refresh phone yẹn mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí i.
Ẹ kálẹ́ sà mo fẹ́ kẹ́ wo fídíò yìí bí under 3 minutes ṣe rí tí
èèyàn bá ní kankan kò tó bá ní ọkàn àyà. Bàbá ẹ̀ 71 years old ni ó ti kú ní 2021 ní age 34 ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń lọ lórí omi fún ẹ̀. Ó ti travel 99 days lórí omi láti South Africa lọ sí America. Ó tún ṣe another one about 10,000 kilometres 169 days. Ó tún ṣe another one 110 days. Kí ni mo fẹ́ fàyọ̀ ńbẹ̀ ni pé táwọn ọmọ Yorùbá bóyá pé a bá ṣe tán la rẹ́dì. Ẹ má bínú, mo fẹ́ mú fídíò ẹ̀ jáde. Alright, ẹ já gbọ́ ọ́díò yẹn padà lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Ẹ má bínú, ẹ já replay ọ́díò yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Let's go back and play that audio one more time. Kọ̀mọ̀ fẹ́ play fídíò tí ó bá ọ́díò yẹn wá ni. Let's start again. Hello, Bami, ẹ kálẹ́ sà. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ wo fídíò yìí bí a bí under 3 minutes. Ẹ̀rí tí èèyàn bá ní kankan kò tó bá ní ọkàn àyà. Bàbá ẹ̀ 71 years old ni ó ti kú ní 2021 ní age 34 ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń lọ lórí omi fún ẹ̀. Ó ti travel 99 days lórí omi láti South Africa lọ sí America. Ó tún ṣe another one about 10,000 kilometres 169 days. Ó tún ṣe another one 110 days. Kí ni mo fẹ́ fàyọ̀ ńbẹ̀ ni pé táwọn ọmọ Yorùbá bóyá pé a bá ṣe tán la rẹ́dì, a máa move mountain tí a tẹ̀lé nídìí kankan. Ọ̀sìn torí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn mọ value yín, but àwa tá mọ value yín a máa dúró tì yín till the end ni, kò dẹ̀ síkú kankan tó máa gbà kọ́kọ́ nù wa. So nǹkan ní kí n tún sọ fún yín pé àwa dúró tì yín tán ni o, because ìyẹn lè máa rí àwọn nǹkan báyìí. Ọmọ Poland ni bàbá náà, kọ́lọ́n kó fọ̀run kẹ́. Kí n tó ṣe nísìn àrọ́mọdọ́mọ ẹ̀ á máa jàǹfààní ẹ̀. Now ẹ máa wonder pé kí ni fídíò yìí all about. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tàbá ẹ tó bá gbọ́ program yìí débi báyìí. I don't know whether they will allow this video to remain on my page, but tẹ́ ẹ bá gbọ́ fídíò yìí ẹ máa lọ sórí YouTube channel tó ń pè ní Great Big Story. Àbí kẹ́ type in travelling the world with a 71-year-old Kayaker. Mo kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ fún yín ní background history bàbá yẹn ká tó play video yẹn. Èmi náà ṣe come across ẹ̀ lórí Twitter tá à ń pè ní X. Ṣẹ́rẹ́ èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá àtèmi náà àtàgbàlagbà arúgbó, gbogbo atajọ́ ń jàjàǹgbara yìí, gbogbo wa la ní spirit láti fi defeat àwọn enemies wa, but because a fi ọkàn sí pé a lè ṣe, we can do it. Ìyẹn lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ míì ṣe ń fì sẹ́yìn, ẹlòmíì náà ti náwó, ó ti sóhun. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ka history bàbá ìdí ẹ̀. Why he kayak across the Atlantic at age 70 years old? Kí ló ń pè ní kayak? Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo nǹkan pè bẹ́ẹ̀. Kayak. Kí ni wọ́n ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀? Àwọn tó máa ń lọ lórí omi pẹ̀lú boat kékeré, small one, òun ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ follow mi, ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà ní Nàìjíríà, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé. Mo ní ètò torí ti Koikimedia, à ń go extra mile láti mú nǹkan tó máa encourage wa tí kò ní jẹ́ ká wà defeated at this particular time. Ìyẹn mo ṣe ní mo kí brother mi Ibiyemi Family TV, mo kí ọgbà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí ìjókòó, ẹ má bínú pé I cannot be mentioning names. Mo kí àwọn tó jẹ́ media as well because of time constraint, but we'll try and appreciate everybody towards the end of this program. Èmi ò ní time láti wá máa sọ so many other things tó ń lọ lórí social media. Bàbá wa ti fohùn sílẹ̀ lánàá, Ìbà náà ti fohùn sílẹ̀ lánàá, and I cannot go further on that. Tó bá jẹ́ pé yẹn lè fi máa gbọ́ other platform are talking about it, I haven't got the time to talk about that. I have a lot of things to tell you láti fi encourage wa lórí ìrìn àjò tá a gbé dání, torí pé ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń feel defeated already, maybe you will be encouraged by watching something like this listening to something like this so that you can become much more empowered. Torí pé ta gbé dání, whatever the outcome, àwa la máa defeat àwọn enemies wa. So ẹ jẹ́ ká gba meaning kayak. So ẹ ti mọ meaning ẹ̀, àwọn tó máa ń lọ lórí omi pẹ̀lú very very small tiny boat tí bàbá yẹn lò lélẹ̀. Ó ti kú nísìn ní 2021. More than 3 times ló travel on his own lórí omi at age 70. Ǹjẹ́ tí bá pè wọ́n náà nísìn nílé pé ṣé wàá bá mi rìn láti Kaduna láti Kwara wá sísàlẹ̀ tí mo dẹ̀ ní láti fún ẹ lówó mọ́tò, ṣé mo kó máa ń bínú ìwọ tó wà ń lé wà ní Mr. Koiki tẹ́ bá fún wa lówó àní lọ sí rally. Gbogbo eléyìí ló yẹ ká mú kúrò lọ́kàn ara wa torí iṣẹ́ ta gbé dání kò ṣe pé mi náà owó tá náà ń béèrè àwọn èèyàn fún wa. Èèyàn kan send message sí mi lálẹ́ ní àwọn opportunity kan, àwọn fẹ́ ra mọ́tò kan, ó lè wà lórí program nísìn. Mo ní tó bá yẹ pé mo ní lóòótọ́ màá release owó yẹn fún yín, ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ máa sọ fún mi díẹ̀díẹ̀, but we don't have that money. So tá bá ń sọ fún gbogbo wa pé it is about a mission tó máa fún wa ní peace léni àti lọ́la, kò sí nǹkan kan tá fẹ́ ṣe. Mo kàn ń prep wa kó tó di pé a máa lọ ka intan kábọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ́sàn-án yìí àti lánàá, mo ti print ẹ̀ síta bọ̀ máa fi wọ̀n wá náà later. Mo kàn fẹ́ prepare mind wa torí nígbà tí mo rí story arákùnrin ó impress me. Ó jẹ́ kí n rántí ìgbà tí mo sì mí náà padà sí university at age 70. Àwọn kan ní alájà ẹbí àtòrí owó tó ń fún wọn lọ sí padà lọ sí school. Now ìyá ti graduate, ó ti di university graduate, ó ti yàtọ̀ sẹ́ni tó tẹ̀lé opportunity yẹn. Bó tẹ̀ yẹ pé wọ́n fún wọn lówó náà ni, kí ló dé tẹ̀yìn náà lo opportunity yẹn? Ìta ṣe ń sọ pé we must defeat our enemies, but kò ń ṣe pé ká wà stupid. We must prepare our mind. Ọ̀tọ̀ ní oògùn, ọ̀tọ̀ ní àyà. Púpọ̀ nínú wa a ní àyà, a dẹ̀ lóògùn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ story arákùnrin díẹ̀ sí. When Alexander Dober Kayaki, ẹ ti mọ meaning Kayaki nísìn. Kayaki ni pé ó lọ lórí omi báyìí. Ntẹ́ ń wò níbí báyìí, òun náà ń pè ní Kayaki. Ṣẹ̀rí nǹkan tó wà níwájú ẹ̀, ṣẹ̀rí pé òun ní ẹ̀ lórí omi yẹn. Òun nìkan ni ó ló ń travel lórí omi yẹn láti South Africa lọ sí America. Bàbá yẹn lẹ̀ ń wò yìí o, age 70 ló ṣe ìrìn àjò yìí. Ìwọ ọ̀dọ́ tó jẹ́ less than 40 bíi tèmi, mò ń pè ẹ́ sórí ìrìn àjò yìí, òun ní kí n ṣọ́tọ̀, òun ní o fẹ́ fix Nàìjíríà. Nàìjíríà tí bàbá Akíntóyè náà fẹ́ fix nígbà táwọn náà wà ní age wa tó rí fix, òun nìwọ wá ń sọ pé o fẹ́ fix. How you going to do that? I don't know, but I pray that many of our people will listen as quickly as possible and accept the truth that the country called Nigeria has just failed to work. Kò dẹ̀ sí ìkọ̀kan tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣe sí, kò sí àdúrà tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ gbà ní any of your churches, your mosque tó lè revive Nigeria. So ẹ jẹ́ ká ka story bàbá yìí ní kíákíá torí àsìkò. And it goes like this. When Alexander Dober Kayaki into the port in Lille, Cornet, France on September 3, 2017. Eléyìí ṣe ọjọ́ tó ti pẹ́pẹ́ kan lọ títí o. 2017 ó kù 2 years tí Buhari máa parí first tenure ni bàbá àgbàlagbà kan lọ lórí omi tó ń create in tó yẹ pé lọ́la lẹ́nìí ní ọjọ́ iwájú tí táwọn generation ẹ̀ bá ń dé ọmọ máa sọ̀rọ̀ bàbá yìí. He has just completed his third ó di mẹ́ta, not 1 kayaki, not 2 kayaki, but 3. He did what we called traveling on the water, Atlantic Ocean, lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta within the space of time. The last mission tó ṣe ó lọ sí the highest mountain tó ń pè ní Kilimanjaro. Ó débẹ̀ lóòótọ́, ibẹ̀ lọ́lọ́jọ́ dé bá sí, kọba Elédùmarè kó foríjì kó tẹ̀sáfẹ́fẹ́ rí. He was a few days shy of his 71st birthday. Oh, let me read that again. And I hope you can see, if not, monitor screen in me. Yeah, you can all see it properly. Let me just highlight it. When Alexander Dober ọmọ Poland ni, kayaking into the port in Le Cornet, France on September 3rd, 2017. He had just completed his third and by far most dangerous solo transatlantic kayaking trip. Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó kàn bẹ́ẹ̀, the most dangerous. Right now, the Yoruba people are in danger, but some of us are determined to face that danger regardless of whatever it takes. Kàkà bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe làwọn kan tó ń sọ fún wa pé àsìkò tí tó àwa náà okay. The option is now left for the current administration, which Professor Akintoye is advising Tinubu that Nigeria needs now the courage to dissolve peacefully, and the solution is not a war. It was a few days shy of his 71st birthday. He was unaccustomed to wearing pants. He had been at sea. Ẹgbọ́n mi bẹ̀rẹ̀ dáadáa. Ó ti wà lórí omi for 110 days alone. Tí bá ní kí wọ́n lọ jókòó sínú igbó nísìn fún 2 days. Ǹjẹ́ ò ní sọ fún mi pé because these are the messages ẹ máa sọ fún wa. Tá bá ní kẹ́ lọ sí mission ẹ sọ pé Koiki báwo mo ṣe máa tọ́jú ìyàwó mi nílé, báwo mo ṣe máa tọ́jú ọmọ nílé. Mo ní okay, no problem. No problem. These are reasons why we try to bring this kind of information. Mo lè kà fúnra mi kó má ní ìwúlò fún èmi nìkan, but I bring this out láti fi ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ ìgbìyànjú fún àwa tá wà lórí ìrìn àjò yìí. Bàbá 71 years old òun nìkan wà lórí omi fún 110 days. Òun nìkan pẹ̀lú Elédùmarè ẹ̀ kò wá sọ pé lórí omi yẹn ẹja máa gé òun jẹ, òun máa dà sínú omi, kò ro gbogbo yẹn rárá. He went on and on to remain because ó fẹ́ fulfil mission táwa náà fẹ́ fulfil nísìn ni pé a fẹ́ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà. Are we ready? Or àti sọ di àwàdà kẹ́ríkẹ́rí, àti sọ di orígbà tá a bá dárúkọ olóyè Ìgbòho nìkan ká tó lè rí program ṣe. No, there are so many programs that can be provided for the Yoruba people to encourage our people to come out and support this movement. Olóyè name will never go away in this world and in the world hereafter. Torí àwọn kan ní ibìkan là ń lọ tá bá kú. As far as I'm concerned, ilé ayé kankan tí parẹ́, èèyàn náà ló máa kú, àdèmọ́ máa bí sí àmọ́ rẹ̀ sí ni. So let me say this again. There are many things that we can talk about, and that is why this platform does not go in a different direction with others. We try to bring something that can resonate with your spirit, whether you are Christian, whether you are Muslim, whether you're a traditionalist, because those things will encourage you maybe just to support the vision and the mission of the reason why we need to leave Nigeria and start thinking about our own nation. Let's go further. He had been at the sea for 110 days alone, having last touched land that May at the New Jersey Barganet Bay. Ó kúrò ní New Jersey ní May, ó wá wà lórí omi fún 110 days nígbà tó máa fi dé France. The trip, and I'm going to move away after this quickly, the trip could have easily ended 5 days earlier when Dover was just a few hundred feet off the British coast, but he had promised himself when he left New Jersey that he would kayak not just to Europe but to the continent proper. So he stayed on the water nearly another week in the 1 meter wide boat. Sori inú ibi tó wà, ìwọ nísì tá bá ní kí o lọ síbì kan, o ṣì ní space tó lè fi maneuver, ó wá máa béèrè ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan tí a lè fún yín, and for that reason some of you refuse. Ẹlòmíì ti gbàgbé pé tó o bá tẹ̀ wá nínú Yorùbá nation movement, just like myself, I always say it, whether you support or not, ìyàwó mi òun lọ bí iṣẹ́ láàárọ̀ ọ̀la, ìwọ̀nba tó bá lè ṣe, ìwọ̀nba tèmi náà bá lè máa ṣe separately mama fi survive ara mi. If I don't live in Nigeria for the next 30 years kò sẹ́ni tó lè mú mi ara àwọn tó ń gbádùn ayé wọn níbí báyìí tó ń ṣe life wọn lọ tó dẹ̀ ń decide tó fi ṣe pẹ̀lú life wọn. Mo rẹ́ni tó dé láàárọ̀ yìí láti Nàìjíríà kódà àti airport lọ ti pè mí pé Mr. Koiki mo kàn ní kí alára àwọn tó lọ sí òkú màmá wa ká ṣe àwọn dẹ̀ to stay back because of all that. Àárọ̀ yìí lọ pè mí láti Heathrow ní at exactly 6:30 pé àwọn kàn ní káwọn sọ fún mi kọ́ bá mi gbé kankan bọ̀. Mo sọ fún yín pé Nàìjíríà tèmi ojoojúmọ́ ni. I don't have to go to Nigeria. I can stay in this country and travel around the world. Màá kọ́ avoid Africa ni and nothing can happen to me. Èmi ni mo bí tí máa kọ̀ lọ ní ìlú tí mo fi pé tí bá lọ ó lè lọ di problem mo ní lọ síbẹ̀. Màá dẹ̀ ra máa ṣiṣẹ́ tí mo lè máa ṣe níbí báyìí láti fi sustain ara mi àti family mi. But that means pé mo ti wà selfish nípa ara mi nìyẹn. I am not thinking about humanity. That is the reason why àwa fi sọ di full time. But èyí tá a ṣe sọ di full time ni pé kẹ́yìn náà tẹ wá lọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ support àwa. Tèmi bá lọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ nísìnyí mo ní kẹ́ máa support mi. Ìbáwọn mídíà wa tó kù ń ṣiṣẹ́ and I mean hardly lè máa fi ní kẹ́ support àwọn but nítorí pé mi ò tí ì ṣiṣẹ́ a dẹ̀ ti sọ lọ́dún mẹ́ta sẹ́yìn pé eléyìí la fẹ́ fi ṣiṣẹ́ tí a bá wá pè pé kò wọ́tẹ̀ pé ká fi ṣe full time màá lọ máa ń kàn tí máa ṣe ìgbà tí bá dẹ̀ lè ṣe náà la máa ṣe but that means pé ìrìn àjò yìí máa pẹ́ ju bó ṣe yẹ lọ because àwa kan mú sígbà ìyàjúra wa lọ and I am not pleasing myself here. I take this as my personal project that we have to deliver. Bí wọn náà ṣe ń deliver project níbi iṣẹ́ tó ti ń lọ ṣiṣẹ́. So I'm gonna move swiftly because bàbá ìkọlá wa mo kàn fẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé bàbá tí à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ yìí for 110 days he was alone on the sea. Ibẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ máa ṣúba, ibẹ̀ làárọ̀ máa dé bá, ibẹ̀ lòun máa pamọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú gbogbo ẹ̀ náà ìtorí pé kí ni ó fẹ́ deliver mission ẹ̀. Ǹjẹ́ ìwọ náà ready bẹ́ẹ̀? Ó easy fún ìwọ tó wà lórí ẹlòmíà send audio ó dòdòdòdòdòdò ẹjọ́ ti pọ̀ jù. Bàbá Koiki ọ̀nà báyìí ni ká gbà náà ìgbà tèmi náà rí pé ó lè convenient láti lọ fi ọwọ́ kún bàbá Kítóyè àti Ìgbòho mo travel lọ sí Nàìjíríà mo lọ bá wọn ṣe 6 months ẹ̀yin náà lọ ṣe mọ́ pẹ̀lú bàbá Kítóyè ní Benin Republic. Ẹ má jókòó sórí social media ẹ máa ṣe voice oríṣiríṣi ẹlòmíì wà Nàìjíríà kò tí lọ rí bàbá Kítóyè ní Benin Republic àfi kẹ́ máa release audio fò káàkiri. The trip àti kàbẹ̀yẹn so he stayed on the water àti kàbẹ̀yẹn. Now wọ́n ní he endured touring waves in the cufflink cabin where he spent almost 4 months not sleeping more than 3 hours at a stretch. Ǹjẹ́ ti bá sọ fún wọn nísìnyí pé kò sọnù lójú wa o àní ṣe ìwọ kì í sùn nínú ilé tiẹ̀ ni. This is why I say that oorun ò ní sí lójú wa nísìnyí ọ̀n tí tá a bá débi tá à ń lọ torí pé tí Tinubu bá lọ ṣe tán tí Elédùmarè ò ní gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ fún àwọn bọ̀ á gbà fáwa pé a ti máa kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà. I'll just leave it like that. Èmi ò ní come out and say Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká ṣe election kankan mọ́ tó mú sọ yẹn ní 2021, 22, 23 dá mi lóhùn but mo kàn sọ pé by the time tí Tinubu máa fi ṣèjọba ẹ̀ tán ní ọdún 4 tí síta wà yìí kí olúkàlùkù ti lọ but ìyẹn kù sí mi àti ẹ lọ́wọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹnu kọ́ ló máa ṣe owó wà involve ara máa ní wá a máa dàbẹ́ ni tí ìyàwó ẹ̀ fẹ́ bímọ tó gbogbo nǹkan máa ṣe ìgbé a máa gbọ̀n òtútù a máa mú kódà ní tí ìyàwó ẹ̀ fẹ́ bímọ lábúrọ̀dì kan tó yẹ pọ̀ fẹ́ ni wàá máa oríṣiríṣi a máa ṣe é à ń bọ̀ sí pọ̀sẹ̀ tó wà Nàìjíríà. So if you're thinking that Yorùbá nation no going back ìyẹn lè máa fi gba Yorùbá nation you are all wasting your bloody hell time. Ó bẹ́tà kẹ́ tètè ya bọ́lẹ̀ kẹ́ lọ́ máa fix Nàìjíríà. That is if we are serious. We will hold tight. We will be going through a lot of endurance. Ó ń ṣe ti endurance àwọn olórin o. Wọ́n ní bàbá yìí fún oṣù 4 tó fi wà lórí omi wákàtí 3 péré ló fi ń sùn. Where he severally tried his loved ones' patience in order to be lonely, naked and afraid. Then he paddled through the French. Àti gbọ́ díẹ̀ ká jọ wá wo fídíò yìí ká gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ síbẹ̀ ó dà ń pé èdè òyìnbó ló fi sọ.
Wiele osób mówi, że te moje wyprawy w zasadzie.
lè gbọ́ torí èdè Poland ló fi kọ́. So what I'm going to be doing is while the video is going on, I'll be reading quickly the translation. And the bá dẹ̀ lè follow translation yẹn náà ẹ máa follow it. It's just about 2 minutes 37 seconds. So it goes like this. Many people said that my expedition were nearly impossible. Ìwọ náà wà lórí ètò ní sánmọ́ Yorùbá. Ìwọ ọmọ Yorùbá tún sọ pé kò possible wà nígbà Yorùbá nation. Can you imagine? Kọ́mọ Yorùbá tún máa sọ fún wa pé kò possible wà máa gba Yorùbá nation. Many people said that my expedition were nearly impossible to do, or so they imagine. The same way they sọ pé Biafra ò ní lọ. Wake up níjọ́ kan, happy birthday sí Simon Ekpa, èyí ni birthday. Ìjọ́ kan máa dé, everybody will get the message pé Yorùbá máa lọ. Lílọ ni bọ̀ ń lọ. Ẹlẹ́dẹ̀ máa dẹ́ Ọ̀yọ́, ariwo ẹ̀ ló máa pọ̀. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin ọmọ Ọ̀yọ́. Bàbá yìí náà nìyẹn o. My name is Alexander Doba. I am a little over 71 years old. My passion is long distance kayaking. I am known for kayaking across the Atlantic Ocean 3 times. Sórí fóònù nìkan ló wà lórí omi. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè. Sórí àgbàlá omi. Má ṣe o. Sórí omi tó wà. Nígbà tó máa fẹ́ ṣe tiẹ̀ wọ́n láti bá build a boat tọ̀dọ̀ tiẹ̀ torí boat tó máa lò. Ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tó sọ níbí báyìí. The first time I ever sat down in kayak, I was 34 years old. That was in 1980. 34 years old. Ìwọ tó ń ní kankan possible. O tí mọ̀ pé ó possible ni. Tó bá mọ̀ pé possible, you will make all effort. Tó bá ìtaba lè ṣe, èmi ò ní láti sọ fún mi ẹlẹ́mìíràn bàbá Koiki ẹ lọ ṣe. Kí ló dé tẹ̀yìn lọ ṣe? Ilẹ̀ wà nídìí ètò náà. Mídíà lèmi, gbogbo alájọ wà nídìí ètò. I like it so much that it became my passion, and now I cannot quit it even if I wanted to. Ó dàbí kéèyàn kan sọ fún mi nísìnyí pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation tó ń ṣe yìí ṣé kò ní sú ẹ, ó ti wà nú ẹ̀jẹ̀ ni, kò sí nǹkan tá lè ṣe sí i. But to cross the Atlantic Ocean, I needed a big kayaking built specially for me. It's all beautiful here. This oceanic kayaking was over 7 meters, 23 feet wide with a sleeping cabin. My first expedition across the Atlantic was from Africa to South America. It took me 99 days. I sailed 5,500 kilometers. That's about 3,418 miles. Baba, 70 years old. Ìwọ ọmọ 30, ọmọ 40, ìwọ ọmọ 50, Baba 60. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Ẹ̀ ń sá sẹ́yìn. Ẹ sọ pé kò lè possible. Koiki àti Ìgbòho àti Bàbá Akíntóyè lè fẹ́ da Nàìjíríà rò. Bí a Nàìjíríà ò tí dàrú fúnra rẹ̀, ó kù díẹ̀. The next expedition ìyẹn rò pé 99 days. Mo sọ fún ìyàwó mi pé ẹni tó tẹ̀lé ṣe 99 days. Ìgbà mélòó ni kò ní ṣe more than that. The second trip was from Europe to Florida. Europe níbi táwa wà yìí. Ó wá gbéra láti Europe lọ sí Florida. Well, donation here can be anything from whatever that is comfortable for anybody. Èmi kàn ń lo $1, £1 yẹn. But if you can do more, ìyáwá Iyọ̀lá Adédoyin www.ysdm.org. So tẹ́ bá lè ṣe jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, definitely there is nothing wrong in that. Ẹ lè ṣe jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ kẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú $10 àbí £10 kẹ́ dẹ̀ tún drop it down. Èyí tó bá convenient, kò ń ṣe dandan pé ó gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ £50. Àwọn kan máa ń rò pé bí ẹ bá fún ìrànwọ́ ní 50. No, sometimes because I need so many bills. Màá dẹ̀ fún yín ní information kan pé ẹ má bínú pé mo kàn tún fẹ́ sáré divert kékeré ni because a lot of things mo fẹ́ discuss lálẹ́ but tó máa bí di 12 lọ́dọ̀ mi ni máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ programu message Bàbá Akíntóyè yẹn. mo kà nǹkan kan lórí BBC kí n tó wá sórí show lẹ́ǹkan ọ̀hún dà ṣe gbọ́n kan tí BBC sọ. Absolute poverty. UK sees the biggest rise for 30 years. Tí UK bá wà in poverty, ṣe mọ̀ pàwọn náà ti ní problem yẹn. The figure jumped to 12 million as at 2022-2023. That's a rise of 600,000. This means that the rate of absolute poverty in the UK now stands at 18%. I'm born even later. So lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí anything tó bá convenient ní kó lúkálukú wa lọ fi síbẹ̀. Kódà wọ́n tó wà Nàìjíríà tó bá jẹ́ 100 naira ló convenient fún ẹ fi síbẹ̀. It will go a long way. Ẹ ń béèrè topic ẹ wà lórí screen now. So ẹ tó ń béèrè topic yẹn. Ṣèbí a ti ní write up ẹ bá dẹ̀ mọ̀ topic ẹ follow conversation tá à ń sọ. So bàbá yìí ó tún gbéra a second trip. The first trip ẹ̀ ṣe rántí pé 99 days ló lò lórí omi láti Africa lọ sí America. Ó tún wá gbéra láti Europe ó lọ sí Florida ó lò 167 days. That's about 12,437 kilometers. That's about 7,728 miles. Ló fi ṣèrìn àjò yẹn láti Lisbon, Portugal ó lọ sí Florida òun nìkan lórí omi. Kí ni mo fi ń fele ìṣàpèjúwe ni pé ó tún ṣẹ̀ wá gbéra ìtakàtàn nísìn. Ó wá tún wá ṣe the third expedition láti North America lọ sí Europe in France. Ìyẹn take ní 110 days, 8,109 kilometers. That's about 5,039 miles. Ǹjẹ́ ìwọ náà níbi tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nu àbí níta ìjọ ready láti sacrifice the mileage láti make sure pé ìran Yorùbá bọ́ nínú pẹ̀rú? Gbogbo akọ́la máa jẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀, gbogbo akọ́la máa jẹ́ planning committee kan, gbogbo akọ́la máa wà involve, but gbogbo wa tájọ́mọ Yorùbá ni a ní mission ní Yorùbá nation regardless of whether they believe in it or not. Kò bá jẹ́ ẹni tó wà nínú politics lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ni ẹni tó sínú politics ni àwọn tó disagree ni because ó ti wà important pé kíran wa kó bọ́, and that is about what I can tell you on this man. But he eventually died on his last mission. Yorí bàbá náà lélẹ̀. The ocean is calm 1 minute and then storm later. During this trip I experienced kí ló dé tí Instagram ìtàn kẹ. I experienced about 60 tropical storms. That is in táwa náà experience nísìnyí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn. Oríṣiríṣi storm, oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láàrin méjì tá a fi gba Yorùbá nation. Different things are happening and many things will still happen. Láàrin ẹ̀ wọ́n máa infiltrate wa, láàrin ẹ̀ ni ìyá onítìrídé, láàrin ẹ̀ ni oríṣiríṣi nǹkan, oríṣiríṣi information, and sometimes these storms is to divert the real reason that ṣe ní àfikún ní Nigeria. Our main reason that ṣe ní àfikún ní Nigeria ni pé we want to have our own inalienable. We have been logged out of OLAYOMI KOIKI. The account owner may have changed the password. Láti bó síbò. Jack account ni. That's strange. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Mo kí wa pé ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń login padà. You know what happened there. All right, I'm going to deal with that in a minute. So anyway, let's leave this. I've just given us a background of someone. And let's come back out. We need to deal with Morinisi. So to be sure that everything is okay, let me first check my other account here first to see that there are so many people that want to infiltrate you sometimes. Okay, I'm still able to log in here. So, all right. So we have phone your local log out here. All right, that's fine. So now, where are we now? So anybody to any question lórí ọ̀rọ̀ YSDM, will probably maybe bring one of the YSDM team kó wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ at some point, in the course of our programs. So jẹ́ kí n start mo tó ṣe Instagram ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lẹ́ǹkan, so mo ní fóònù mi ti máa fi start ẹ̀. adé máa dín pẹ̀lú ilé ìlọ later so máa kọ́ máa fi lè monitor screen àwọn tó wà lórí Facebook. Mo kí gbogbo ẹni tí ẹ̀ ń jókòó, mo kí gbogbo yín pátápátá láì yọ ẹnì kankan sílẹ̀. This platform is talking about the right of the Yoruba people to self-determination. And self-determination is an inalienable right. And that right will be respected whether they like it or not. Intagbedani kò ń ṣe offense anywhere in the world. Ntí Bàbá Akíntóyè gbé dání tí àwa náà bá wọn gbé dání kò ń ṣe offense ní Nàìjíríà, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò ń ṣe offense ní abroad tàwa. So ẹ má yẹ kẹ́ni kankan kó fool wa pé we are doing something that is against the law of Nigeria. We are not doing anything that is against the law of Nigeria. We are doing what is needed to get the hell out of the contraction known as Nigeria, because Nigeria is a contraction and there's nothing you can do to fix Nigeria. It is just too late to fix Nigeria. So what I'm going to do now, I want to open up what we're going to read about quickly. So, first, Shilibi by part 1. Okay. All right, so let me bring my screen. Let's change my screen. Now, kate tó lọ sí nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ open yẹn. Let's come this way first. Ìlú méjì ni Bàbá Akíntóyè dárúkọ tó fi ń bá Tinubu sọ̀rọ̀. Ó máa gbọ́, kò ní gbọ́. I hope ó máa gbọ́. I hope pé Tinubu máa gbọ́. But subject to intent rí nísìn, òun ni document tí Bàbá Akíntóyè tí wọ́n check kọ ní February. Copy yẹn náà ló wà lọ́wọ́ mi. Ó ti wà lórí website mi tá à ń pè ní koikimedia.com. So let me bring that back again. Let's go back to my website. So tẹ́ bá lọ sórí website mi, ẹ̀yin náà lè lọ. Ṣèyí tẹ́ máa ń sọ pé yẹn mọ nǹkan tí Bàbá Akíntóyè ń sọ. Ẹ̀yin náà lọ sórí website wa www.koikimedia.com. Tẹ́ bá débẹ̀, ẹ click lórí Yoruba document files. You'll find a lot of information and different things. Ìwé Bàbá Akíntóyè wà níbẹ̀, PDF is about 519. Tẹ́ bá lè print ẹ̀ jáde, tẹ́ bá lè print ẹ̀, there's nothing wrong in that. But tẹ́ bá lọ sí Under Yoruba Nation. We're improving this page as swiftly as we can. I can't remember section to what. I think again Lawanda News. Yeah, that's it. So ẹ̀yin tó yẹ bá fẹ́, ẹ má bínú, close this. Ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá fẹ́ copy in tí mo fẹ́ kà jáde, ẹ lọ sórí website mi tá mọ̀ sí koikimedia.com and you will be able to print it out. That is the file there. All you have to do is just download. Part 2 yẹn méjì ní ẹ̀kí yọ̀kan kúrò. So there's a part 1, there's a part 2. So in case you want to have a copy for your own references. These are the things that we should hold on to, especially gbogbo ẹ̀tẹ̀ bá ní kí la máa ṣe nísìn àmọ́ tá máa ṣe ẹ lọ digest ìwé yìí kẹ́ máa fi educate the next person tó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ yín. Gbogbo ẹ̀tẹ̀ sọ pé ní group ẹ lọ print ẹ̀ kẹ́ máa deliberate lé lórí, ẹ mú kankan bíi méjì nínú ẹ̀ kẹ́ máa fi ṣe topic. Ó ń ṣe pé ká kọ̀ máa waste time and energy lórí platforms. So that is the document there. And that is the same document that we want to review, which is the same thing. So in ten rí ní screen nísìn, èmi náà ti print tèmi jáde, part 1 lélẹ̀, part 2 lélẹ̀. So and we're going to look into it. But ìlú méjì tí Bàbá Akíntóyè dárúkọ, ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ wo àwọn ìlú yẹn náà, ká kọ́kọ́ fi yẹn bẹ̀rẹ̀. So what we're gonna do, ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ wo àwọn ìlú méjì yẹn. Muki and your Jagbon. So yeah. Okay, something is not right. Why are they logging me out? Okay. Click on right with Instagram and I'm being logged out, kicked out. All right, every few minutes, I need to look into that quickly. Number.
Gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ ọ̀dọ́ tá a jọ káàkiri ọ̀dọ́jọ́ ni wá ẹ má jẹ́ kí á fi àyè gba Fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn bàbá wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú ọba mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú jòyè mọ́ nígbà tá a la fẹ́ jà fún àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa táwa ń kọ́kọ́ ń bú ọba tá à ń bú jòyè èmi náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí bọ́mọ pẹ́rẹ́ àmì padà ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú àgbààgbà kankan mọ́ ẹ má bolóṣèlú kankan àwọn ẹ̀rù kálukú ń bẹ̀rù wọn ò lè sọ̀rọ̀ ọba ò lè sọ ìjòyè lè sọ ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú ẹ má jẹ́ ká bá àwọn bàbá àjà mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ á bú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ á ṣe wọ́n ra wọn ara pẹ̀lú wọn àwọn àgbà tó bá jó lóṣèlú tá a bá fẹ́ kọ́ wọn rẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ á gbé wọn mọ́ra á gbé wọn mọ́ra ni à ní bú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ á ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ má jẹ́ á dàlúrú a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì yìnbọn a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì dàlúrú gbogbo protest mo ṣe ní ìlú Nàìjíríà mi ò rí ibi tí mo ti ẹnìkan lè sọ pé mo pààyàn tàbí mo jó nǹkan náà tàbí mo bà nǹkan jẹ́ mo lọ písù torí pé olówó lèmi náà tí ò bá sólówó lára ń dì mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tọ́lọ́run fún yàn lọ́lọ́run fún mi mi ń ṣe tálákà tó dé pé mo dìde fúnjà Yorùbá big man ni mi àwọn tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó súnmọ́ mi tó ní owó ní kí ni mo wá lọ bẹ̀ pé sọ́wọ́ lè mi mò ń fẹ́ ni kí n sọ yìí tí mo fẹ́ mo ní ìsọ̀rọ̀ owó àní ọ̀rọ̀ ìran mi ni mò ń sọ kí n wọ gbowó kí n gbéra kí n pé mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ ọba àgbowó mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ oníbodè òfin gbowó kí n kójó wọlé kọ́kàn mi balẹ̀ kí n dá wa mọ́tò kí n mọ́ rìn bọ̀ kí Fúlàní mọ́ dá mi dúró títì kí n délé kí bàbá sọ pé kí n gbé tírélà sùn kí n mọ́ gbé lọ àwọn bàbá wo lè lóko mọ́ wọn ò lè lóńdò ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ká ti àwọn bàbá wa lẹ́yìn ká dá security ti wa lẹ̀ ká sọ fún wọn kí wọ́n bá wa fọwọ́ tì í ká lé wọn kó nu oko wa ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́.
And welcome back again into the program. It might be known because I keep getting this. It's stable, but I'm not too sure why I was getting kicked out of mine. But that's been resolved. Once again, a very good evening. As we are now going into the discussion of tonight, when you come on the program, you can go and look at the headline and the topic. But sometimes the topic can bring some other areas into the conversation. But as we all know, this platform is dedicated for self-determination. And as we say all the time, self-determination is an inalienable right. And that right will be respected, whether they like it or not. We are not doing anything against the law of the land, whether from outside Nigeria or from inside Nigeria. Whatever we are doing is the same thing. So if anybody is asking you, what are we fighting for? Just say to them, self-determination. We are not secessionists, neither are we terrorists. We are people asking for self-determination under Article 3 of the United Nations. The indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status, freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Tẹ́nì kankan bá wá ń bi ẹ́ pé kí ni reason gangan tá a ṣe fẹ́ Yorùbá nation? Kò ń ṣe torí Fúlàní nìkan. There's so many reasons. One of those reasons is our language, our identity, our own independent passport, our own currency. Just like my wife was showing me the 50p tí ó ti ní orí King Charles nínú ẹ̀ 50p yẹn ó wà níwájú mi bíbá ẹ̀. Our own resources to be controlled. Moridele Alake tó náà ń set up for 2,000 people come and monitor mining site tí kò lè monitor one local government. Ó ń sọ pé kí 2,000 new security outfit tó ṣe establish. I saw that on the X this afternoon or this evening on his Twitter, on his X handle. Ẹ rántí pé the bomb attack tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Ìbàdàn, it was all about the mineral resources. Mo kí bàbá wa Ifeanyi Ìmọ́lẹ̀ Ayé, mo kí gbogbo ẹni tẹ́tí darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. We want our own Yoruba Prime Minister. We want our own judiciary system, our own security system, and likewise our own immigration and ports. We want to control our own and develop. And as I am going into that now, it also takes me quickly to a particular video tí mo wò lọ́dọ̀ sister broadcast news kiniwa náà tá máa ń lò Vantage, where they were talking about something. Mo sọ fáwọn media wa tàdé wà nílé lánàá nígbà tá a parí program. Mo wò kankan lọ́dọ̀ Vantage tó wú mi lórí gan. Kí ló wú mi lórí níbẹ̀ ni pé bèbí yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bí Abu Dhabi, and I'm just going to show that ẹ má bínú mo fẹ́ prepare screen yẹn kí n tó change the screen mi ni. Ó ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Abu Dhabi. I think it is around 20-something minutes. Náà pọ̀ nílé. Ta ló mọ Abu Dhabi? Abu Dhabi is now trying to bring as many investors into their country. Bó ṣe jẹ́ kí ọmọ Yorùbá máa prepare mind wọn fún lélẹ̀. The future of Abu Dhabi. Mo bọ̀ tí n bá ti kẹ́tẹ̀ níbà ẹ̀yẹ́ ṣe máa wo now that's it. Mo fẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ this next video tí mo máa play. Let me mute my mic. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ gbọ́. This is the future that I want for us. Ọ̀rọ̀ Fúlàní pa wá nǹkan kan yẹn ìyẹn ló kéré jù. We should talk about the future of Yoruba in the financial hub to compete with the world of today. This is the dream tí Bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ fẹ́, but that dream can only be fulfilled tí àwa ọmọ Bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ tá bá dìde láti jẹ́ kí dreams yẹn kó wá fulfill. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó wà káàkiri àgbáyé lénìí tó ń ṣègbìyànjú láti develop ìlú onílùú. Ǹjẹ́ yìí náà think about a Yoruba system, a Yoruba revenue. This is the dream of Bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀. Àwa la máa fulfill dream yẹn torí bàbá yẹn ti kú, but dream ẹ̀ tó kù gbogbo jàǹbá tó ṣe láti gba nǹkan mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Okay, something is still not right here. So let's listen to this. I'm going to mute my mic, and I do not own the copyright to this. We're having issues with my Instagram, OLAYOMI KOIKI. It keeps cutting in and out. I don't know why. So, all right, let's listen to it.
Our next story comes from Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, home to about 1.4 million people and an array of tourist attractions. But some would say Abu Dhabi's most interesting attraction is its money. A sovereign wealth fund worth $1.5 trillion, one of the biggest in the world. And the city is milking it to lure hedge fund titans from across the world. It is offering hedge fund managers a range of unusual perks, from country club memberships to elite school admissions for their children. Is this Abu Dhabi's bid to become a financial hub, and will it work?
Are we thinking about a day that the Yoruba country of our dream will become the financial hub of not just Africa, of the world? It is possible. It is doable. Just like Babato Sheikh Kayaker for 169 days. We can do it, but we cannot get a fulfilled Yoruba system economy should we remain in this contraction in Nigeria. And that is why it's entirely up to the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to decide whether he wants to go the route of Yugoslavia, as Baba Kitoye said, that ended up becoming a blood of rivers, or it will be the president that will go through the route of Soviet Union, where there was a peaceful dissolution of the government. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ díẹ̀ sí ní tí Palikisi, ìyẹn bèbí tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa tí Abu Dhabi offer a relative ease of doing business. Mo ń sọ fún wife mi ní àṣìwà ní 21st. We are just 2 minutes before we enter 22. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà Nàìjíríà, you are 1 hour ahead of us. Mo ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn Indian àti Pakistan, àwọn tó bá wà ní UK ló lè understand nǹkan tí mo ń sọ yìí. They don't invest in their country. Gbogbo investment wọn ibi báyìí ló wà. Ìdí tí àwa ṣe lọ invest ní Nàìjíríà ni pé because we believe that at the end of our whatever period tá a bá lò ní UK, and I guess it's the same thing in Europe and America, pé a máa padà lọ sí ilé láti lọ kó èrò kó gbogbo wàhálà tá a ṣe labroad. Ẹni tó bá kọ́lé sílé, ẹni tó bá ní business, but inter factor ni pé Nigeria economy àti system was never going to work. So today, the Indians and the Pakistan kept their money in UK, but our pool owó tiwa jáde àgbè lọ sí Nigeria, Africa, because àwa náà fẹ́ double owó yẹn. Ẹni tó ń ta mọ́tò, ẹni tó ń ṣe this, ẹni tó lè establish nǹkankan, because alẹ́ experience kékèké ní ibà àwa fẹ́ lọ lò lọ́hùn. The same thing tí wọ́n bàjẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wó lọ́wọ́, òun náà lọ ti bàjẹ́ lọ́wọ́ individual. Olúkálukú máa rù lọ́kàn ẹ̀. Kí lèmi lọ ṣe sílé? Ǹjẹ́ mo jèrè tí mo lọ ṣe sílé? Ẹ ní láti sọ fún mi. Ẹ bá fẹ́ fi sínú comment section káwọn tí ẹjọ́ wà lórí program kọ́ lè bá kà ẹ fi síbẹ̀. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́ gbọ́ nǹkan tí mo sọ nísìnyí. Kólúkálukú rù lọ́kàn rẹ̀ pé látìgbà tí ìran mi kan ti jáde kúrò ní Nàìjíríà tó lọ sí Europe, kí ni èrè tó dá padà àti pé ṣé wọ́n sì ń jẹ èrè yẹn? Many of you build houses that you can't go back to. Many of you establish schools that end up becoming, knockoff because of the Fulani government. Many of you establish things that would have been of benefit to our people and Nigerians as a whole, but nothing worked even after all those things were set up. Many of us were investing heavily in Nigeria. And at the end of the day, we realize now that the same thing tó ṣe fún bàbá wó lọ́wọ́, òun ló padà ṣe fún àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀. Because if the country was going to change, if the country was going to be like Abu Dhabi, to offer a relative ease of doing business, àwa ọmọ bàbá wó lọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n jẹ́ kó rí ṣe délẹ̀, tó destroy gbogbo tó ń pè ní Western region products. Gbogbo tí bàbá wó lọ́wọ́ ṣe pátá, bàbá dẹ̀ sọ nínú tí wọ́n kọ sí mi tí a fi ń ṣe àpèjúwe ní alẹ́ yìí tí a bá lọ sí mo fẹ́ change the screen yẹn because mo fẹ́ máa change ẹ̀ ká lè máa rí tá a bá lọ sí article tó wà lọ́wọ́ mi. Bàbá kọ síbẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ kí n number quickly so that kí n má mix it up. So this is 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, number 4, number 5, okay, méjì ni mo print nìyẹn, part 2 lélẹ̀. Okay, copy méjì ni mo ṣe nìyẹn. Alright, mo mọ reason fún ṣíṣe méjì, àbí mo fẹ́ tọ́jú ẹ̀, copy méjì ni mo ṣe. Alright, so they were on top of this. Okay, so now this is part 2. Alright, so now, tẹ́ bá rántí pé tá bá wo ibi tí bàbá sọ̀rọ̀ dé níbí báyìí, ó dà pé nínú part 1 ló wà. We used to have a Western region that we became the world largest exporter of cocoa. Ṣé mọ̀ pé cocoa yẹn tó bá yẹ pé a ṣe continue that template will still be what we will be using today. But unfortunately or fortunately, that template was destroyed by the military. Now, we lost everything. We were told that wealth, prosperity, and power. Today, we don't have any more wealth and prosperity and power. We don't have it anymore. The question you should be asking yourself as ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ́nu ni pé, are we going to sit back when the world is moving very fast? The reason why things have become what it is today is because as Baba said here, Baba ni, by doing these things, okay, let me go one step back. Babani, unhappily, however, Nigeria lack the inner unity and strength needed for such greatness. What greatness are we talking about? This greatness, like Abu Dhabi, that is now trying to bring many investors into. All right, I'm not sure. It looks like there's a problem with Instagram tonight because you might be able to the same problem with you join Instagram. Then also the internet can check Instagram problems because it keeps kicking me out. So I don't know. So to kick me out. Okay, Instagram outrage reported in the last 24 hours. Okay, there's a problem with Instagram as well today. Meta is down. Facebook, Instagram Messenger hit with worldwide outrage, leaving user unable to access. Okay, so we're having problem with Instagram tonight. And that is just 11 hours ago. All right. So we just leave it there. Toba Fewa Wakawa Walosi. Tibetan program and another platform. So Yala come and tell you what, so can't stress myself on that. So I'm just gonna leave that. So alright, so I'm gonna concentrate on actually another platform, but you are on air. Now let's come back again here. Unhappily, however, Nigeria lack the inner unity and strength needed for such greatness. Are we ever going to see a greatness like this? Let's listen more to Abu Dhabi.
Here's a report.
The richest emirate in the Gulf is counting on getting richer. We're talking about Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates. It's rolling out the red carpet for hedge fund titans. Officials are formalizing a program for hedge fund managers. Think of it as a package of perks tailored to lure in the big money makers. And the incentives range widely, from lifestyle support and visas to admissions in elite schools and even memberships at country clubs. So anything goes, as long as the finance professionals move to Abu Dhabi. And chances are that's exactly what would happen. The perks will ensure a smooth onboarding. But more than that, Abu Dhabi itself is a big draw. Rather, the city's sovereign wealth capital is. It's valued at $1.5 trillion.
You get that? It is valued at 1.5 trillion US dollars. This is how we should be thinking. Reason why we want to go out of Nigeria. Having our own financial hub, moving ahead of time. For every day we are still stuck in Nigeria as Yoruba people, we will not prosper. Prosper. Unhappily, however, according to these from Babakitoye, Nigeria lack the inner unity and the strength needed for such greatness. And the reason for this is because hundreds of peoples of Nigeria were pushed together in what is called the fraudulent 1914 amalgamation. That amalgamation was one of the biggest problems that kept us out of who we are today. And the only thing we can do now is to get the hell out of this fraudulent amalgamation. See, I'm British, so really that is what they've done. So what you are saying in front of you is what the British did to the Yoruba people. Because war fẹ́ jẹ́ ká ní greatness, war fẹ́ jẹ́ ká ní prosperity. Ìyẹn ni mo ṣe sọ àti wà ní 22 lẹ́nu nísìn. Ìyẹn mo ṣe sọ pé alàgbà kan wọ́n pè mí lánàá 16 years in UK and he doesn't have the right to this country. Láti gbé nílùú yìí. But ṣé mọ̀ pé that 16 years would have been a fruitful 16 years tó bá yẹ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lájọ wà. Option ló máa wá wà pé a fi wá sí UK bí a fi kàwé ni a fi relocate ni. But those options have been taken away from us as Yoruba people, and we lost the greatness. And instead of that, Abu Dhabi is now talking about hedge fund. Let's see why. If tó bá jẹ́ pé a sí nínú 1914 amalgamation, àwa náà bá ti lọ jù báyìí lọ, we would have been a very powerful, independent country. Kódà tó bá tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé lórí Western region nìkan la bá wà, we could have done better. Ẹja àgbọn kan díẹ̀ from that Western, from the Abu Dhabi. Mo kàn mọ́mọ́ fi amalgamation yẹn sí àárín méjì yẹn so that kó lè máa rí pé ìdí tí àwa ṣe lag behind tí a fi lè compete pẹ̀lú Abu Dhabi kò ju pé we have been locked together for the selfish interest of some certain individuals. While àwọn Abu Dhabi move forward, àwa wá lọ ń ṣe ẹrú níbẹ̀, à ń ṣe ṣìgálò, àwọn abàṣe máa ṣàwọ̀ bẹ̀ láti survive. Let's listen to this again.
It's one of the biggest sovereign capital funds in the world, enough to catch the attention of any big hedge fund manager. On top of this, Abu Dhabi saw a quick post-COVID economic rebound. It offers a relative ease of doing business, a neutral political stance, a relatively low rate of crime, and a time zone that allows workers to trade across European, American, and Asian hours. On top of this, Abu Dhabi is part of a country that loves the rich. In today's climate, few countries welcome the wealthy. In most nations, billionaires often come under scrutiny. But the UAE does not vilify capitalism. That, combined with other factors, makes its capital a giant appeal for the rich. And the city hopes it remains that way. Actually, Abu Dhabi is betting on it. But why? Why is the city offering unlikely perks to finance professionals? In simple terms, to get even richer. Abu Dhabi has set its sights on an ambitious goal. It hopes to become one of the world's biggest financial centers and draw professionals from the likes of New York, London, Hong Kong, and Singapore. The question is, will the plan work? If we are to believe the signs, it could. Let's take a look at the Abu Dhabi Global Market, or ADGM. This is Abu Dhabi's financial center. As of last year, it had 1,825 operational entities. That's a 32% growth from 2022. It had 102 asset managers as well, managing 141 funds. Today, ADGM is the fastest growing financial center in the region. Plus, top global financial firms are opening offices in Abu Dhabi, the likes of Goldman Sachs, Rothschild & Co., and Morgan Stanley. So things are going well for the city. But there is one hurdle: competition. Abu Dhabi is competing with two financial hubs in the neighborhood: Dubai, which is a short car ride away, and Riyadh, which can be easily accessed via short flights. And these two competitors have been in the game for longer. For instance, these three big names may have set up base in Abu Dhabi.
And you can see why some of us are saying this fraudulent 1914 amalgamation has literally created the worst of Yoruba people. It has created us backwards. It has given us false hope that we should try to fix a country that many people do not speak the same languages, rather than all come together now and say enough is enough. We are now still getting some of our people that are saying that no, we should stick to the 1914 fraudulent amalgamation. Today, Baba Akintoye advised Tinubu pé the option is now left to you. And what is that option? The option to go through the route of Soviet Union where the country was dissolved and there was no bloodshed, or you go through the route of Yugoslavia that ended up breaking up, even though Slobodan Milosevic kò fẹ́ jẹ́ kí wọ́n pín Yugoslavia padà pín, Milosevic padà kú sí International Criminal Court for crime against humanity. Ẹ bá wa bí Jagaban pé èwo nú ẹ̀ lòun fẹ́ mú, ṣó fẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà lọ through rivers of blood, àbí ó fẹ́ yẹ kí Nàìjíríà lọ through Soviet Union, a peaceful dissolution. That is left to him. That is not left to me. My job is to tell him that history can remember him on both sides, because gbogbo tí gbogbo wa ń ṣe lénìí ó máa dìtàn lọ́la. If he goes through the right route, it's up to him to dissolve Nigeria and let Nigeria go. If he doesn't do that, Nigeria will still break regardless, and he could end up, I pray not for him, but if he does not allow Nigeria that needs now the courage to dissolve peacefully, it will still be bitter that tí ó bá bọ́ sí orí ẹ̀ pé we go through how Yugoslavia ended up, which led to many deaths of innocent people. I pray not Tinubu could be charged for crime against humanity. It is entirely up to him, because whatever that happened at the realms of affairs of Nigeria today, Tinubu will be held responsible as the current president, commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Òun ló máa hold responsible, and that is subject to what and how the indigenous people, and I'm not talking about Yoruba alone now, I'm talking about every indigenous people, decide their fate inside what is known as Nigeria today. I hope that those that are handling the affairs on his behalf will tell him the history that I'm about to read again, and I'll continue to read that in these years. Ó gbọ́, kò gbọ́, but that is not going to hold us back fún àwa tí a fẹ́ lọ, àtàwọn Biafra tó ń campaign, àtàwọn Middle Belt, àtàwọn tó kù tó fẹ́ lọ àtàwùsá, even if they are small in proportion. But let's say this clearly. President Tinubu cannot stop the Yoruba people from asking for their right to self-determination. He cannot stop our right to self-determination. And do you know why? Because self-determination, as it is proclaimed under the United Nations, self-determination is what we can call an inalienable right, just as many other countries are saying the same thing. We are not doing anything different. Igboho is not doing anything different. Baba Akintoye is not doing anything different. The world media is not doing anything different. None of us are doing anything different, and there's evidence that back what I'm saying.
Other countries were refused at first. But we have to remember, and this is a really important point, that self-determination is an inalienable international right and a law as well. And other countries will recognise Scotland's democratic choice expressed at the ballot box they will recognise that, because that is the route that many other countries have taken in order to become independent. And just to make that point, that international law is very pragmatic on that point. So we should have confidence in that.
So, Eyomo Yoruba, Ejekani confident. It does not matter whether the administration of President Bola Tinubu is in support of our quest to self-determination. It does not matter whether APC is in support. It does not matter whether our governors are in support. We have made it clear, and we have made it clear because it is just too late trying to fix Nigeria. If any Yoruba person is suffering, Nigeria will be fixable. The question you should be asking them is, how? Because this man told us the reason why Nigeria is still holding on today is because there's an interest from the British government and British institutions, British Empire, colony, that wants Nigeria to remain together. I didn't say so. This man said so.
How we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this would help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought forth, not to bore you. First, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western Region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Ahmadu Bello, former Premier of the Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country.
And that was very clear by the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Once again, it's coming up to 21 minutes past midnight in London, 22nd day of the month of March 2024. My name is OLAYOMI Koiki, one of the campaigner for the right of the Yoruba people to self-determination. Self-determination is an inalienable right, as we've said earlier, and that right will be respected by those in power. If you're one of those that is still thinking that Nigeria can be restructured, maybe you should listen to this.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Oodua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
It has come to an end, but many people still do not want to accept such. So we're going to move swiftly because we still have some areas I want us to touch on. My name again is OLAYOMI KOIKI. As we continue to reveal reasons why Yoruba needs to exit Nigeria. We are coming up to about almost 1 hour 45 minutes of the program. That means that this program will not be going much more than 2 hours precisely. This is a topic that we're going to be treating for a very long time, so it's not going to be in a rush. I just wanted to go straight into those two countries and see àwọn olúwo ló ń pè ní àwọn ìlú tí Baba Akintoye fi ṣe àpèjúwe ọ̀rọ̀ in terms of so I'm going to move now, coming down here. Let's go and look at Yugoslavia to start with. Yugoslavia, as we know, once again, if you want the document that I'm reading from, you can always check that from Koikimedia website.com. Nigeria has collapsed part 2, and also Nigeria's collapsed part 1, or Nigeria needs now the courage to dissolve peacefully. Shout out to those of you on Twitter space. Sorry for those of you on Instagram, not too sure what is going on tonight. We're having some technical glitch, and I guess that is not from me, that is from Meta, which is known as Facebook. So let's go and look at Yugoslavia. What can you remember about this country? It's a very beautiful country, but has a lot of internal problems. And today, let's see this map. So in case you are not aware, these are like a map, and I guess I should save this because we're going to be needing this map more. So Teba will map to one iwájú former Yugoslavia. Today, countries came out of it: Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Kosovo, Serbia, Central Serbia, Belgrade, Macedonia, Slovenia. These are countries that pull out from what Baba Akintoye told us in the part 2 of the reason why Nigeria needs to be dissolved. But many people do not want to accept the truth that Nigeria has come to its own expiration. So I want us to hold on to that. Let's just type in, how did Yugoslavia break? How Yugoslavia split? So if we go back to history, as the rise of the nationalism grew, Slovenia, followed by Croatia, voted for independence, and it broke away from Yugoslavia by 1991. So ìwọ ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń sọ pé ìntẹ́ ń béèrè fún òní wá sí ìmúṣẹ, ìntẹ́ ń béèrè fún òní wá sí ìmúṣẹ torí pé Nigeria. No, please stop saying that. If you don't know, it's a different thing. But if you don't know, you might want to sit in this kind of platform, in this kind of classroom, so that you can learn how countries break up before. And sometimes a man like video evidence. So let me see if I can bring something on a video evidence to back what I'm saying. Even though most of this video is not mine, but again, Tabate Pada Yokuro is not a problem. There was a lot of things that happened, that has happened in the past, in the history. History is just going to repeat itself because Nigeria will collapse, just like Yugoslavia did at some point. I'm just going to open one at random, so hopefully we can learn one or two things from it. So let's listen to this.
Yugoslavia.
So let me open it from the YouTube channel. tó bá yẹ pé ibi tí a lówó ni a lè avoid gbogbo àwọn advert a máa sanwó fún ni, but owó ní tóun bá sínlé kíyàn kan má ṣe kíní kan ni. So when we tell you to give us money, we know the reason why. So let's listen to this. Why did Yugoslavia collapse? Níjọ́ kan máa wáyé ní kò tí pẹ́ mọ́. I don't know the date, I don't know the time frame, I don't know the month that Nigeria also will be used in this kind of discussion for references purposes. They will say that, okay, Kesu Baba, my very good friend, thank you for joining. There is going to be a day in my lifetime tó ní pẹ́ mọ́ tí a máa fi Nàìjíríà pàtàn. Torí lọ́kàn rẹ nísìnyí wọ́n rò pé kò lè possible. Look, Yugoslavia was a very strong country, very powerful. Nígbà tó sọ fún pé àsìkò tó kó collapse, wọ́n náwọn gbà. Mo kí safety domain. And thanks so much for all the comment that is coming through. There's a lot of it. Okay, Yakini Mustafa, I can cite you there, and the rest of you that have joined us, and those of you that have gone to sleep. Let's listen to this. I'm going to mute my mic so that there will not be interference. And I don't own the copyright. It's just for educational purpose.
For many, a long-forgotten, failed nation. For others, an all too painful and recent memory. A once united federation made up of 6 neighboring republics, Yugoslavia's existence.
I want us to take note of that. A once united federation made up of 6 neighboring republics. Yugoslavia existence was never. A day is coming that Nigeria will also be taught like this as case references. A once united federation, even though we know it was a fake union, because, and I'm going to go back again to what Babakitoye said here in this particular write-up. I beg us to have this write-up. If you don't have it, you can go on my website and go and read about it. Sharing here, more history tí Babakitoye ń gbé jáde. History yẹn leleyo tí mo tún fẹ́ fún ní evidence ẹ̀. Àwọn bàbá yìí is an historian. This once powerful country tó ń pè ní Yugoslavia ó ní kìmí ju Nàìjíríà lọ. But at the end of the day, it actually collapsed. Ó collapse. So your fear fẹ́ǹtẹ̀ wà ní federal state pé ànírówó oṣù àgbà ànírí pension àgbà gbogbo yẹn ló easy jù. Everybody that is working with the federal or the state will still be accounted for. You will be paid your pension, you'll be taken care of, you'll be looked after. It will become a new system that represents me and you first before anybody. Mo níyàn kan wà nílùú yìí ní 16 years ọmọ Yorùbá wọ̀ fún níwèé. Ìyẹn stop ayé ọmọ British tó bí sílùú yìí tó jẹ́ ọmọ English gangan. Because ìgbà lọ bí òun sí àwọn bàbá ẹ̀dẹ̀ ló dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ sáwà lọ́rùn lọ́hùn. Arákùnrin yẹn pè mí lánàá 16 years ló ti lò ní UK wọ̀ ìtì ní ìwé. Ṣé mo pé 16 years yẹn tó wáyé pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá láwà kò sí nǹkan tó máa bèrè pé ṣọ́ níwèé àbọ̀ níwèé àbí ṣé ní Ìbàdàn tí wọ́n wà ní síjú máa ṣé nǹkan ń bẹ́ pé ṣọ́ níwèé ó dìgbà tó bá travel ló máa mọ mímí nǹkan tá à ń pè ní ọ̀rọ̀ òwe ìgbénu kò lè ní understanding ẹ̀. Ok, ní Lagos State tó wà ní sí tó ti ń wò mí ṣé nǹkan ń bẹ́ pé ṣọ́ ní right láti wà ní Lagos State? No, ọmọ Yorùbá ni ò bá wà láti Èkìtì kó máa gbé ní Lagos State, ọmọ Yorùbá ni lóòótọ́ a lè máa sọ pé àwọn Ìgbò ń gbé pẹ̀lú wa, yes wọ́n máa gbé pẹ̀lú yìí because Nàìjíríà lẹ́ gbogbo wa, so kí ló expect? Ò fẹ́ kí Ìgbò gbé pẹ̀lú yìí ìyẹn máa jẹ́ níta máa sọ lọ́jọ́ iwájú and kò sí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe lè ṣe náà ìyẹn máa jẹ́ relationship tá a bá ní pẹ̀lú ìlú kọ̀ọ̀kan ṣíbí wọn náà lọ sí African countries ó ṣe rí nìyẹn but the main important thing tó tẹ wá lójú gangan tó yẹ kó mú wa nígbà àyà òun ni pé we will be able to control the narratives. And what is the narratives? The narrative that we will now be able to decide. Nígbẹ́ criminal tó ń ṣe fake drug tó jọmọ Igbo kò máa gbé pẹ̀lú wa no a máa lè padà lọ sílùú ẹ̀. Tó bá máa gbé pẹ̀lú wa kò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe fake drug kò gbọ́dọ̀ lọ gbé nǹkan tó wà contraband wa. A máa ní passport tiwa a máa ní owó ìlú tiwa. A máa control resources wa mo kí ẹ̀gá ní lóyèdè. But the present day Nigeria right now accept everybody to live wherever they want to live. Èmi ni mo ní mo kúrò nílùú yìí ni mo ṣe jìyà 15 years tí mo dẹ̀ ṣe ń jẹ́ but wọ́n wá ní òkè tó bá náà fi kúrò nílùú yìí a máa capture data ẹ̀ a máa gba fingerprint ẹ̀ mo ní no problem. Ṣé pé kí n fi jókòó sí ìlú ìmọ̀ yàn ṣe problem. So what I'm trying to say is that for those of you tẹ́ máa ń sọ pé kò possible in tí bàbá Akíntóyè fi kọ ìwé jáde òun ni mo fẹ́ play video ẹ̀ fún yín o. Bàbá Akíntóyè ti sọ fún wa pé Nigeria needs now the courage to dissolve peacefully. Ìyẹn kò sọ́wọ́ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu bóyá ó fẹ́ kó dissolve peacefully àbí kó di ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀. Kò sẹ́ni tó ń gbàdúrà ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ but tí president Tinubu tí kò bá ṣe ní tó yẹ kó ṣe probability wá pé ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ máa wà. Òkè táwa bá náà wà ìtàjẹ̀sílẹ̀ tí àwọn ìyá wa tó kù láti north middle belt àti south east tó bá náà wọ̀n gbà ìzòbézòbé àbẹ́ mọ̀ pé tíjà bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní any of those areas ó máa ní impact ní south west ẹ̀ tí ronú bẹ́ẹ̀ ó máa ní lóòótọ́ wọ́n lè máa jà níbẹ̀ but ripple effect ẹ̀ máa dọ́dọ̀ tiwa náà torí kò sí bó ṣe fẹ́ máa jà ní àwọn òkè ọya lọ́hùn yẹn tí ìjà yẹn ò ní ní impact sí ìsàlẹ̀ níbi táwa wà so máa ronú bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ Yugoslavia kí ló fà á tí wọ́n fi pín àti pé nígbà tó fẹ́ pín wọ́n bẹ ẹni tó jẹ́ president wọn ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ mú ojú ẹ̀ jáde Slobodan mo ti close kìíní ok ìyẹn wà bẹ́ẹ̀ Milosevic ojú ẹ̀ lélẹ̀ wọ́n bẹ títí bá ṣe ń bẹ Tinubu nísìn bá ṣe ń bẹ àwọn olóṣèlú wa tó dá wa lóhùn wọ́n bẹ arákùnrin yìí for a very long time ó ní òun ò gbọ́ òun ò nígbà òun lélẹ̀ nísìn nígbà tó wà ní ó ti di pé wọ́n gbé lọ sí International Criminal Court ibẹ̀ ló padà kú sí. Slobodan Milosevic is no hero. À ń sọ fún Tinubu nísìnyí pé wá ṣe hero nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó náà wọ̀n gbọ́ ó náà fẹ́ fix Nàìjíríà à ń béèrè pé ọ̀nà wo ló fẹ́ fi gbà fix Nàìjíríà ó ní ìṣọ̀kan Nàìjíríà jẹ ní lógún the same man tó sọ fún wa pé I do not believe in Nigeria. So arákùnrin tó ń pè ní Slobodan Milosevic òun lẹ́rí tó jókòó yìí wọ́n sọ fún níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn pé Yugoslavia ti deal láti break up ó náà wọn ò ní gbà kó break up ó náà wọn ò ní gbà eventually Yugoslavia padà pín òun fúnra rẹ̀ wọ́n padà mú fún crime against humanity inú ẹ̀wọ̀n ló padà kú sí Ọlọ́run ní ṣe ti Tinubu bẹ́ẹ̀ but it's up to him to decide what is good for him. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ka article yìí there. This article is from Al Jazeera 24th of August 2016. Let's go through it a little bit. Most of the world's attention focused on today's humanitarian crisis. This is understandably preventing and ending armed conflict must be the first priority, particularly in the face of imminent and ongoing civilian suffering. Yet, it is important not to lose sight of what happens after conflicts are over. Tabani amaja, conflict yẹn máa tán, ó lè last 2 years. Biafra war lasted 3 years. But kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ after that? Years of dedicated effort are needed to secure the peace and rebuild the order. Now, let's go straight. One in 1990, in the 90s, conflict in the former Yugoslavia transfixed the world much as this Syria ṣe ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ lónìí. Since Yugoslavia war, ìyẹn ogun tó padà ṣẹlẹ̀ nílùú Yugoslavia, were finally brought to an end. Nígbà tí ogun yẹn wá sí ìparí, the international community has invested significant effort to help restore peace and security in the Western Balkans. Meaningful progress has been achieved in critical areas such as democratization, particularly through Euro-Atlantic integration and the European Union accession process, the return of dangerous rhetorics. Ó dà pé wà kàn ṣe kéèsì yẹn lọ lélẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ gbọ́ díẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀, bọ́ká tó gbọ́ díẹ̀ nínú ẹ̀. However, justice and reconciliation are the essential pillars for building sustainable peace have faced far more opposition. À ń béèrè fún peace lénìí, àwọn olóṣèlú náà wọ́n gbọ́. Àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò ń béèrè fún ọ̀nà àbáyọ, àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò ọ̀gá wọn sọ pé àwọn ò gbọ́, ìyẹn àwọn olóṣèlú tiwọn náà. The same thing with Middle Belt, the same thing with the Southeast. Not everybody is asking for a peaceful dissolve of Nigeria. But àwọn tí wọ́n rò pé àwọn ní agbára wà lọ́wọ́ wọn, wọ́n ti gbàgbé pé one day things will not be the same. Initially, some progress was achieved, supported by far-sighted leaders such as the late Serbian Prime Minister Zoran Đinđić and Croatian President Stajan Misic. In the past few years, though the situation has greatly deteriorated with the return of rhetorics and policies not seen since the outbreak of conflict, some government officials throughout the region regularly misrepresent and disregard the judicial and historical record, which is what is going on in Nigeria today. Elomuna Dekano, you kidnap him, you rendition him to Nigeria, and you expect the Biafrans to sit back and hold their hands. If they are doing so now, they're just doing so for a very, very limited time. Things will explode, but we can avoid this explosion now before it is too late. If everybody just say, kò sí nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀, ẹ kàn jókòó sí abroad ni, you cannot do nothing. Okay, we don't have the power to do nothing. But what about those that have the will and the desire to do it? How do you stop them? How do you say to somebody that ẹni tí Fúlàní ń pa family ẹ̀, they will fight back? Ẹni tí economy ti mú, they will come back and go after each one of you politicians. That's all I can say. The denial, and I love this particular one, which is what is happening in Nigeria today. We are all living in denial. Unlike irọ́ tó pọ̀, there is a current genocide, crime against humanity. War crime is almost commonplace today. Ta ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí? Nobody. There's war crime going on in the southeast. Nítorí pé àfẹ́ àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò àláìkí wọn, àkí àǹtí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ sọ́dọ̀ tiwọn. Lọ́dọ̀ tiwa fúnra wa, Buhari pa 28,000 ọmọ Yorùbá. Ìyẹn tó láti dá ogun sílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà fún wa. But yet, we hold back, we decided not to. But in tí Buhari ṣe fún ọ̀nà Yorùbá, òun ló ń lọ lọ́nkàn yẹn. And when we are here talking, some idiots will come and talk nonsense and type in nonsense. because lọ́kàn wọn bí eré ọ̀rọ̀ kò rí àmọ̀ ṣe movie ṣe mo á jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Kúnlé Afọláyan àwọn èèyàn náà fi make owó náà lọ́n ṣe movie lọ́n gbé sórí Netflix. If I want to go do that, I will not be doing this. Mo mọ tẹ́mi náà lè máa ṣe èmi náà lè máa lọ ṣe skit ní UK tí máa fi pawó, but then I will not have all this time for all these things I'm doing. Màá abandon eléyìí màá máa ṣe nǹkan míì, but kò ń ṣe gbogbo wa la máa ṣe the same thing at the same time. Sometimes people say ìjọba àwọn Nàìjíríà lè ṣe lè sọ̀rọ̀ tí rẹ́dì ni tẹ bá rẹ́dì ẹ̀mí ronú bẹ́ẹ̀ torí pé àwa la ní population. Ṣé mi ni màá kọ́kọ́ sọ pé genocide ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà? Tí gbọ́ rí látijọ́ tí a ti ń ṣe program pé genocide ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nínú Nàìjíríà, but yet everybody is keeping mute, everybody is keeping quiet. Àwọn tó yẹ kó sọ̀rọ̀ wọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀, àwọn tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ń lé wọn pa, àwa tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ni ẹ̀ ń lé, while the criminals are left alone. We will end this program at this junction, but be rest assured that I'll be treating these more and more until you understand that Esokun Tinubu is entirely up to him to make the right decision today, so that kó má jẹ́ pé lórí ẹ̀ ní gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ genocide tó ti ń bọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ òun ló máa wá dálé lórí, because ẹni tó bá jẹ́ president tó wà níbẹ̀ gbogbo crime tó bá ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà ó ti pẹ́ ni ó ṣẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ní orí ẹ̀ ló máa dálé lórí, but it's entirely up to him to stop this contraction. Thank you, Nigeria. Nigeria is not going to work. Kò sí ọ̀nà àbáyọ ní pé kólókálukú kó máa lọ nílò ẹ̀. Ká bá lọ nílò ara wa, a lọ develop ara wa, a lọ ṣe nǹkan mìíràn tó ń wà, kò ní síyàn kankan tó máa jẹ gàba lórí anybody. We will do what is right, what is needful for us. But tẹ́ bá kàn sọ pé kò mátà, kò sí nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ lè ṣe bla 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 blo blo blo, no problem. But one thing is, there is danger ahead. And that danger, okay, mo fẹ́ play video Yugoslavia yẹn, ẹ jẹ́ ká play yẹn ká tó lọ, so that we can just lock that into this particular program. Let's play that video before we go.
Was never a simple one. With constant ethnic and religious division, it seemed that it was only a matter of time before a breakup would be imminent. But was that the only cause of Yugoslavia's collapse? And how did the ethnic disputes actually lead to the destruction of an entire federation? The presence of division and discord between the different ethnic groups within the borders of Yugoslavia had existed for a long while. This was not by any means a new development within the years before the collapse of the federation, but the matter did worsen following World War II. Previously, Yugoslavia had actually been the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. This kingdom was then transformed temporarily into the Democratic Federal Yugoslavia, and shortly after, the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. For the expansion of republics and particular ethnic groups within Yugoslavia, there was already significant disunity between the Serbs and other ethnic categories, which served as a shaky foundation from the start. While nationalism was a raging problem within the Federation from day one, there was a short stint of partial harmony, thanks to President Josip Broz Tito. Tito was a wonderful promoter of unity and brotherhood, and his efforts to curb the dangerous nationalism within his federation was impressively effective for some time. Moreover, during Tito's term as president, Yugoslavia became a regionally powerful nation industrially and had a well-effective economy. It appeared that the troubles of Yugoslavia were a thing of the past, until Josip Tito died. Leading up to the president's death, the growing economy had begun to show favor to only some regions within the Federation.
Did you hear that? The moment Nigeria was falling apart was when a particular ethnic indigenous people known as the Fulanis killed everyone in the north. And today, there's nothing called the northern part of Nigeria anymore. The Hausas have been kicked out. The problem of Nigeria has been brewing for a very long time. The British knew that this problem will continue to be, yet they deceived every single one of us. And as Baba Akintoye stated, unhappily, however, Nigeria lacked the inner unity and the strength needed for such greatness. Many Nigerians that are Yorubas are still thinking that there will be greatness. The hundreds of peoples of Nigeria were pushed together in 1914 amalgamation by the British, were radically different in culture, just as you've listened to from Yugoslavia. We were different in political tradition, just like we saw in Yugoslavia. We had a particular group, Ton Teribali Bubualori, Tona Woni Power, Tinubu Debe Ton Nisingose, Ara Niwon. Nigeria would come to an end, just like Yugoslavia did. But it went into a carnage of blood. I saw the Soviet Union some other day, but Kakoshi focused on lórí Yugoslavia. Ó wá kù sọ́wọ́ President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to either allow a total dissolution of Nigeria peacefully through the Soviet Union that might discuss ìjọ mi, but tó o bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, while is in power, tí Nigeria bá lọ in the carnage of ẹ̀jẹ̀, blood, Bola Tinubu will be held responsible for crime against humanity. Because crime tá ń pariwo, à ń sọ fún wọn pé kó jẹ́ ká dissolve it peacefully. If that is not listened to, we will then face consequence together. Let's listen more, and then I'll be winding down this program from my end here this morning.
And though Tito supported brotherhood, it appeared he may have gone too far to support the individual republic's right to national self-determination. The end of Tito's administration also...
Did you hear that? I'm sure we have the word self-determination somewhere around there. He may have gone too far to support the individual republic's right to national self-determination. Self-determination tá ń béèrè fún, kò ń ṣe ni wọ́n ti ń béèrè fún. Gbogbo eléyìí tí mò ń tẹ̀ ń gbọ́ yìí, 1991 ló ṣe collapse. That was like 2 years kó tó di pé a lọ ṣe election MK Abiola tí Babangida àná. A very good morning, and that's how far we can go. I don't own that video, so there's little that I can play in that video, but I can share the link in case you want to go and watch it yourself. As we remind President Bola Tinubu, it is entirely up to him to do the needful, but we will not wait for him. We will continue to ask for our rights. That right is not a crime, and it has never been a crime under African Union, under Nigerian laws, under the European laws, under United Nations, that the Yoruba people do not want to have anything to do with Nigeria again. Thank you so much, everyone, that have joined us, and those of you that will be watching it at some point. We will be treating this more from Professor Banjo Akintoye. Nigeria needs now the courage. It's about courage to dissolve. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà, àwa tá wà nínú Ramadan, mo kí wa, àwa tá gbààwẹ̀ náà, mo kí wa, àwa tá wà nínú àwẹ̀ Lẹ́ǹtì ti Kristẹni, mo kí wa, mo kí gbogbo àwọn àbọ̀rú àbọ̀yè, mo kí gbogbo àwọn babaláwo, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin oníṣẹ̀ṣe ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, mo kí ní Benin Republic, mo kí ní Togo, mo kí ní South Africa, mo kí ní different part of the world without leaving one behind. And as we say all the time, we have what it takes to pull out of Nigeria, but we must be ready and determined to face all the consequences. Thank you so much for being part of this program. Mo kí àwọn Morenkeji Olúṣọlá, mo kí brother mi Ọlánrewájú Adékọ̀yà, mo kí Prince Adébóyè, mo kí Síkírù Alani, mo kí Mr. Adékúnlé Junior, mo kí àwọn Idris Abimbola, mo kí Dennis, Mubai James, ẹni ẹjọ́ ẹgbà wá o ní ìlú Nàìjíríà yìí, gbogbo alájọ máa gbára wa, kò ń ṣe mí nìkan. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ darapọ̀ lọ́tùn lósì. If I didn't mention your name, please do not take it personal. Mo kí Àtòbí Lọ́mọ, Safety Domain, you put out a lot of comments. Let me quickly read some of them out. The fraudulent figure puts Nigerian population at about 218.5 million, out of which Yoruba is allocated 21%, which is about 45.8 million people. That is more than enough to establish a country. Moki Safety Domain also said Yoruba is slightly greater in population than Algeria and 45 other African countries. What we are talking about, I wonder what the Yoruba elite are putting in their minds. He also went to say there is no African country that has the kind of human capacity the Yoruba nation has. What is wrong with our thinking? He also went to say in 2022/2023, Nigeria is a country with the highest number of people living in abject poverty per global. Of what advantage is the population when our people are being killed daily by terrorists? Spark lazy self-determination is our right, need. We need Yoruba nation as the indigenous people of Oduduwa. Again, Safety Domain say we are not generation of the biblical Israelis that spent 400 years as captives in Egypt. Our 110 years in Nigeria is worse enough. Moki Àtòbí Lọ́mọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Ismaila Rashid Moki ẹni tó wò tó ti drop up bí ẹ ti lọ sùn. This is not the time for us to be sleeping. This is the time for us to be at least awake internally. Moki Bàbá wa Kẹ́hìndé. Gbogbo ẹni tí ò bá mọ bó ṣe fẹ́ fi owó sínú YSDM, it's very easy. www.ysdm, Y as in bíbà tí yàn kọ yam, S sugar, D doctor, M mother, YSDM. Kí ni full meaning YSDM? Yoruba Self-Determination Movement. Mo kí bàbá wa Iyọ̀ládé Dòyìn Akínládé, mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà. Ẹni Ọlọ́run dá mo kí gbogbo àwọn world media, Frank Dodo mo kí Mr. Abiodun Adébùsọ́lá, Easy mo kí gbogbo sisters wa, mo kí àwa Títílọlá Shaw. And on that note, I'm gonna say Olayola Masun. We see you when we see you again. Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tí wọ́n dúró tì wá lọ́tùn lósì, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ darapọ̀, a kí yín gan ni o. And ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọn nígbà mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ o, bọ̀káwa náà ṣe ohun tí ẹ ká ṣe, torí pé kí ni arákùnrin tẹ́ ń rí àti girlfriend ẹ̀, mo kí bàbá wa David Adégòkè ló ń pè ní Lugard àti Laura Shaw àbí Flora Shaw dẹ̀ ló pè rẹ̀, àwọn tó kírètì Nàìjíríà lẹ́rìn yẹn, ṣe rí pé wọ́n kì í ṣe Ọlọ́run, èèyàn bíi tèmi àti ẹni. And all this was just less than 110 years ago. But we can stop it if we are truly ready to stop it. And on that note, bye for now. Olayola Masun, Odaro. Yoruba nation, no going back. Yoruba nation is for life. Bye for now.
Kayaker. 牺牲，他牺牲。